It's a Saturday night crunch game at Subiaco Oval in Perth as the Kangaroos arrive to take on the Fremantle Dockers. Both sides sitting mid-ladder at the moment, jostling for position in the run home to September. The Kangaroos' ninth spot, they're just outside the 8 coming into round 15. 7 wins and 7 losses. And here they are out on the ground, about to break the banner for Lee Brown's 100th game. Appropriate, he plays it against the Fremantle Dockers, where he started his career. 63 games with the Dockers, 37 now with the Kangaroos. Traded for Byron Shammer, or a draft pick that brought the Dockers Byron Shammer. Big game tonight here at Subiaco. Beautiful conditions in Perth as we welcome you to Subiaco Oval. Jason Bennett alongside your West Coast Premiership champion Peter Wilson. And Willow, these two sides played a crucial game last year at the MCG. That day the Dockers got home by a point, set themselves up for the finals. The Kangaroos missed out. Similar connotations tonight. They're jostling for position as we take a look at the ladder. Roos win tonight, they can jump over the Dockers and into the 8.
Really is a mini-final, Jace, there's no doubt about that. It should be a very physical game. We should be expecting that, and really should be, for Dean Laidley, what you'd call a crunch game.
Fremantle Dockers lost 3 of their last 4 games at home, and tonight they'll rely heavily on that man, Paul Hazelby. But similarly, on the other side of the coin, Adam Simpson, such a huge player in the Kangaroo statistics. You look down the page, they lead their clubs in all those key areas.
It's an amazing stat and fantastic player. Simpson really has been electric during the course of the year, but Paul Hazelby really has been one of the front runners, there's no doubt about it.
Well, Adam Simpson, one of the men that may have got the job on him tonight, Matthew Carr's had some problems with his ankle during the week and some dramas tonight before the match. Matthew Carr aggravating that ankle. We can see him in the rooms. These shots taken a little bit earlier when the Dockers were out on the ground warming up, going through a last-minute fitness test. He was named in the side. The team sheets were lodged. But beyond that point, Matthew Carr re-aggravating that ankle injury, and he is out of the side. Roger Hayden coming in as literally almost a last-minute inclusion. Hayden in, Carr out.
And Fremantle really don't have a lot of people that go with or run with players. It's going to be a very large hole for them to fill. Probably Cook is the other guy that might be going for the job, but Simpson really does need to be closed down. Fremantle not renowned for closing players down, so it's going to be very hard.
Well, the Fremantle lineup, if we sort of go through it, as you mentioned now, that does structurally mess them up a little bit in the middle, and some of the matchups they would have had planned. Still got some key movers through the middle of the ground, though. The likes of Hazelby, Bell and Pavlich, and Justin Longmuir last week, sensational against the Bulldogs. Has
been a great improver. The back line of Fremantle really has been outstanding. McFarlane leading from front. Hadra will take on Rocker, who has been in great form. So I think their strength in their back line has been pretty good for them so far.
Looms is a fantastic contest. The Dockers in the special purple and white jumpers. Once a year, they designate a game as the Purple Haze game, with benefits going to the Starlight Foundation, a wonderful charity that look after kids all over the country. Tonight is the Purple Haze game. Fremantle have encouraged their supporters to turn up in droves with everything purple and try to create a wonderful atmosphere. And they've certainly done that at Subiaco. Big crowd in tonight. And it is a big stage for the Dockers. As I mentioned, lost 3 of their last 4 at home. The Kangaroos, well, they're travelling pretty well. They've won 3 of their last 4 games, including a great win last week over the Bombers.
Yeah, and some strength again in their back line. Archer and Colbert, great players. Brown, 100 games. Congratulations, fantastic effort. Really do like the way young Harris has come along for the Kangaroos. Has been outstanding. Sinclair also been a good touch coming back to Subiaco Oval and playing against his old side.
So the Kangaroos 4 and 6 on the road in the last 18 months. Lost their last 3 games at Subiaco. Here's their coach, Dean Laidley.
Well, Dean, do you see this as a bit of an elimination final for your boys?
Oh, look, it is. It's very important that we want to get up on the same games as Fremantle, but having said that, there's still 7 rounds to go after this one.
What about the Fremantle Dockers? Haven't been a huge success here at Subiaco Oval. Do you see that as a bit of an opening for you?
Oh, look, you know, it probably gives the guys more confidence when they see teams coming over here and winning, as it does for a lot of other Melbourne sides. So, but look, having said that, we have to do a lot of things right for a lot of the game.
Their midfield is fantastic, but one player that stands out is Luke McFarlane. Do you see him as a bit of a match winner?
Oh, look, I think he's been very, very important for him this year. They're stumbling block across half-back, and, you know, we'll have to be at our best today to make sure that he has a little impact.
Well, this one promises to be a ripping game. Severio Rocker, he'll be the key to the Kangaroos forward line once again this evening. And as I mentioned earlier, it's 100 games tonight to Lee Brown. A nice touch for him to come back to Subiaco, where his career started in the Fremantle jumper. 63 games with the Dockers before crossing to the Kangaroos. Almost set to go here at Subiaco. Big game, Fremantle, Kangaroos, and it's next. night football at Subiaco Oval, and what a cracking game this one promises to be. Big crowd in, almost over 30,500 as we speak, as we welcome our co-caller this evening, Tim Gossage, to what should be a pivotal game for both these sides.
Jason had the privilege of attending a pre-match function with Dean Laidley, the coach of the Kangaroos, and I got the impression he was fairly confident he had the cattle to cause an upset here at Subi. I like the Kangaroos. Fremantle are staunch favourites and many believe unbeatable, but there's a great degree of confidence about the Kangaroos winning this one.
Some great young talent for both sides on display tonight. Peter Wilson and two of the best going around in Byron Shammer and Daniel Wells. Their careers have mirrored each other largely, and they're two of the real up-and-comers of the competition.
Yeah, very different though. I think Wells really is a natural talent that shows so much skill, and he's just silk. And Shammer just more of a workman-style player, but they really have been fantastic for their two sides.
Well, we mentioned some pre-match drama for the Fremantle Dockers and their lineup. Let's head down to Lockie Reed. He's with Fremantle coach Chris Connolly for a bit of an explanation.
Well, Chris, a setback for you. Matty Carter missed this game. Can you give us an update?
Yes, he just wasn't 100%, and we gave it up till the death knock, and you can do that. And into the team comes Roger Hayden, and Sean McManus will get a big responsibility as a result.
And why is that?
Because he'll be taking a very important player for the Kangaroos, Lockie.
Who would that player be, Chris?
Might be their captain.
Okay. What about this game in a sense that it is a big final for them and very important game for you as well?
Oh, look, both clubs are under no illusions that if the Kangaroos lose, the chances of them making the final are very, very remote. And, if we can win it, it gives us a chance of later on, if we can continue our form, to get a home final and really have a terrific end of the season. So, the stakes is probably as high as you get.
And another big crowd for you. Purple Haze Day, a very important game.
Yeah, look, it's one of the special days of the year for the Fremantle Football Club, and it's been building for 2 weeks, and hopefully the crowd can influence and give the players a lot of energy.
Toss of the coin, Peter Bell and Adam Simpson, and there we have it, Peter. We mentioned that Matthew Carr, the likely starter on Adam Simpson, he's now out of the side. That job will go to Sean McManus. Simpson wins the toss. The Roos going to the right of screen in the opening term.
Isn't it amazing how football turns around, Jason? 2 weeks ago, Sean McManus was down playing at Rushton Park in the Peel headquarters in Mandurah, getting a kick for East Fremantle. Now he's back given the biggest job in this game.
And interesting enough, Roger Hayden was back in the WAFL with South Fremantle last week and played on David Wapunda. David Wapunda was playing for West Perth and got his colours lowered, yet he's back in the side tonight.
Goes down to, I think, their selection criteria. They don't seem to go outside of probably 26 players, and they really do keep it pretty tight. McManus showing that, and Hayden showing that they came back into the side relatively quickly, Tim.
Luke McFarlane holds the key, according to Dean Laidley. Luke McFarlane providing some spring-off half-back. That is a real concern, I reckon, for the Kangaroos, whether Petrie and Rocker might be made to do some running tonight out of their forward 50. Petrie,
I think, can handle that quite well, but Rocker, that really is something that's going to be shocking for the Kangaroos, because the turnaround and the way that Sav sometimes can't keep up with the pace.
Sav Rocker's had pretty big bags against games involving Fremantle. He's kicked 11, 9 and 6, of course, when he was playing for Collingwood as well. And here's Luke McFarlane. He's had a stellar season and he's in pretty rare form. And as I mentioned, he could be in for a big one tonight.
Yes, Vero Rocker's all-time personal best, 11 goals against the Dockers. Round 10, 98 at Victoria Park. And McFarlane to Petrie. Promises to be a pivotal battle in what really is a crucial game in both these side seasons. The Dockers pushing for top 4, the Roos trying to get up into the 8.
McManus starting outside the square, so he'll come straight in looking for Simpson.
Great atmosphere, big crowd in at Subiaco. Thanks for joining us right around the country for this one. Saturday night football from Subiaco. Round 15 action between the Fremantle Dockers and the Kangaroos. Porter in the ruck for the Roos. Justin Longmuir, who's in ripping form, in the ruck for Fremantle. Neither really an effective tap. Kangaroos get first use. Grant ripped off the football. Pavlich. Little handball to Bell. Bell over the top. Here is McManus. To Shammer. Good handoff to Pavlich. Could be a perfect start for the Dockers. From 55, he goes all the way and hits the post. Wow. What a start that would have been. Matthew Pavlich had a blinder against the Roos in round 19 last year. Helped the Dockers get over the line by a point. They lead by that margin after 40 seconds.
Just looking for his direct opponent night out. Harris at the moment is with Pavlich. We'll see how, I don't think that'll be a direct matchup, but we'll see how that starts to pan out. We'll keep an eye on it.
Make peace to King in the back pocket. Really good vibe about this game. Bell The beneficiary of a little hand in there from Polak. Hazelby to Walker into open space. Here's Simmons, can go over the top. Shammer will get run down by Ferrito. Play on, Polak gives it up. Wells, he's under pressure and the Roos will work it out through Shannon Grant. Steps around Medhurst, goes to the wing. Motlop his target, a one-on-one with Parker. Motlop to ground. Parker gets front running. Ball still alive. It's a 2-on-2 now as the cavalry arrive. McFarlane in over the top and a hectic start at Subiaco.
Just a little bit of moisture on the ground. Players losing their feet. Again, looking around, always wearing moulded soles. Hopefully that water, that moisture will settle. Players will start keeping their feet.
The Kangaroos bench. Crowd continues to build up around 34,000. Porter probably should have grabbed it. Pavlich has started strongly. McManus inside 50. Simmons the target. Spoil came from Watt. Pick up by Brown. He's a classy mover. Good vision. Screws the ball back. Now Dockers have numbers. One of them was Simmons. They got caught under pressure. Good tackle. Make peace. Intelligent rolling kick. Now here's Grant. Stands. He's just got nothing on offer up the ground. Under pressure now, got himself into a bit of a pickle. Hadrill and Brown eventually ball over.
Just good work by Peter Bell. Didn't rush in on his opponent in that area. He just screened him off. Didn't attack him. Just pushed him towards the boundary line. Just clever work by the captain.
Simmons got one high. Seen by the umpire. He wanted his left boot. Longmuir roves it. Shammer. His Rawlings. Outstanding stopper. Harris in and under. He spends a lot of his time. We'll have a ball up just outside the forward 50.
Rawlings looks like he's got the job on Hazelby. Grant running with Bell.
Early days, we've only gone 3 minutes, but already Justin Longmuir looks like being a crucial element in this game. Dominated last week against the Bulldogs. Has been in fantastic form for the last 6 or 7 weeks. Ball inside 50 for the Dockers. Sinclair ripped off it by Bell. Couldn't get boot to ball. McManus in over the top of it. Umpire calls for a bounce. Eyes darting for Dean Laidley. Plenty happening early in this game. Gone just 3.5 minutes.
Paul Medhurst wouldn't be the happiest boy, having Archer as his direct opponent for the night.
Longmuir another tap, but it's all Kangaroos at ground level. Watt got it to King. Off a step. Walker in best position for the Dockers. Handball over the top now for Parker. Has to track it back under pressure from Simpson. Flips it up to Bell. Bell will go inboard to Longmuir. The 1-2 back to Peter Bell. Here's the skipper. The premiership player with the Kangaroos. Spears to 50. Beautiful kick. Mark taken by Simmons. Already the Fremantle big man having an influence in the forward half. He's got a man by himself in the pocket. Hasn't spotted him. It's James Walker.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a go at the sticks. There is a booming kick when he gets onto him.
Simmons. Man on the mark, stands 55 metres out from goal. It's Shannon Watt.
Taking his time. It was a good work by Simmons. Nothing on.
Unloads from 55. It'll drop in the square. Longmuir. We mentioned his influence. He's looking dangerous already. He's playing in the ruck. He's pushing forward. And he is high on confidence.
Got to go back and have a look at that kick. As soon as really is a longer kick, he has put that up for his teammate. Set play, right on the top of the square. Beautiful kick, great grab.
He's had a vibe about Justin Longmuir, and he kicks the opening goal of the game. Good start from him. The Dockers controlling the early running at Subi.
The square up from Peter Bell was where it was. Shannon Grant just can't go in one-on-one pace. Peter Bell, not the quickest man in the AFL, but Shannon Grant is not going to go with him on a one-on-one sprint. Direct opponents just came through there. Beautiful kick to set up his big full forward, and that is a super kick.
Justin Longmuir has started in fine form. First goal took some 5 minutes of play. Inside 50s. Kangaroos have yet to attack their goal. Fremantle look hot. Pavlich been busy. Here is Longmuir again. Harris. Bell over the top of him. It's tough and tight.
Great starting point for Peter Bell, actually starting out on the wing. So every time he goes back and just runs the midfield, doesn't play as a wingman, plays a midfielder, just and has Grant going straight to him. A great starting point.
Fremantle again have numbers. Pavlich receives from Shammer into the pocket. Medhurst overruns it. Is that on the foot? The back of the leg, maybe. Makepeace just tells Paul Medhurst that Glenn Archer's playing on him. Just reminded him as if he needed it. So again they're attacking, and again they're inside 50, the Fremantle Dockers. Longmuir should have almost given away a free kick there. Hand over the shoulder of Porter. Simpson gets it to centre wing. Brown overruns it. Quick hands. Hazelby got it from Bell, and here's Pavlich again. Possession 6 inside to walk up to the top of the centre square. Could pick up Simmons without his bootstraps. Here's Grover. Hasn't got long from 50. Long, flat, goal. They've got 2. They're hot, Freo.
Peardo starting on Pavlich during the course of the game. He's out starting on the wing on Bell. They mix it up in the midfield. Pavlich giving up an opportunity. If you're going to be 3 or 4 metres away from Matthew Pavlich, you're not going to see the football. He is just red hot. The Fremantle boys really set for a night out. Peter Bell sitting on the wing at the moment, talking to Fredo and just letting him know where he's supposed to be and who he's supposed to be on.
Inside 50, 6-0 in favour of the Dockers. Possessions 30-10. Handballs, the Dockers sharing it around and running it magnificently at the moment. Handballs 21-4 in favour of Fremantle. The Roos just need to settle and get in the game. They've got Petrie in the ruck now. Dean Lately making some early changes to stop the hemorrhaging. Simpson tried to flip it out to Grant. Walker's got the run of it. Here's Hazelby. He's getting busy. Caught one high from Harrison. Will take a free kick. All the names are up and going early for the Dockers. Shammer's kick was touched off the boot. Towards half forward, Simmons been prominent early. Handball to Hadrell. Hadrell will spear it inside 50. Colbert with a relieving fist. Slapping it away from Polak for a throw in.
Well, it's a clever punch too from Colbert. He's looked for the boundary line. If he'd gone forward, then he just had nothing but a sea of purple jumpers in front of him. Clever punch, looking for the boundary line.
It's a sea of purple all around Subiaco tonight, the Purple Haze game. The crowd's full of it. Here's Farmer to point-blank range. The whiz from 10 metres out, another one. The Dockers have got 3 goals in the opening 9 minutes. The Kangaroos struggling to touch the football. It's an avalanche early at Subiaco.
Not a shotgun start. As soon as you see Jeff Farmer putting his hands up, praying to the gods, you know it's a night out. His confidence absolutely boiling over here from the Fremantle side.
Such one-way traffic. 7 inside 50s to 0 now. Straight out of the middle, straight forward and goal.
Ugly early. Jeff Farmer. Aggressive. Troy Makepeace has got a job to do.
Hadrell now picking up Brown. Thornton's going back on Rocker.
And Stevens is running with Bell off the centre wing, but here's Longmuir again. They're going to go inside 50 for the 8th time. King to half forward. Harvey forced to spoil. Bell, possession 6 to Hadrell. Isn't he providing the run off half back towards another inside 50, and Simmons should have almost taken the mark. Farmer, fresh air shot. Makepeace gathers, could go up the wing and chip short. He decides to go to the longer option. Petrie is the target, providing the long lead. Parker back. Here's Motlop. Didn't have it. Well done, Cook. Got in and helped. Provided the help. Well, the ball up.
Only 7 Kangaroos have touched the football in almost 11 minutes of play.
Amazing start of football. Makepeace playing on Jeff Farmer. Makepeace normally gives a lot of rebound to the Kangaroos. If he runs off and leaves Jeff Farmer sitting back, probably spectating, he's going to punish him on the scoreboard.
Third man up was Jones now. Pavlich tried to take on a couple of tacklers there. Didn't quite get through Corey Jones and his good mate Lee Brown. 9 inside 50s, 37 to 13 disposals. Simpson trying hard. Bell back. It's his second kick, but his 7th disposal overall, and Shammer's found space in the middle. Good chase, Petrie. Again, not great delivery to Simmons around his bootstraps. He's a tall player. They've got to get it up off the ground. Here's Wells. A give, rugby union type give to Harris. The chips down the line to Harvey. McFarlane could have been excused for wanting the boundary line, but he decided to take the ball on and win. Cook. McFarlane wants it back and does. Third man in the chain, got it from Grover. Provides the run. The crowd liked it. That's a good kick. Polak, was he taken high? No. Ball comes again to Simmons. He's playing like a rover. Quick kick to the goal square. Comes off. Well done, Archer. Got it to Makepeace, and the Kangaroos can come up for air. 10 inside 50s to none. We've only gone 12 minutes.
Trainers out to Polak, not looking too good. Looks like coming off the ground.
Colbert to Sinclair, went looking for Motlop. The Roos just need a goal to settle. The margin's only 19 points. It's just that the trend of play has been so dominant. McFarlane to Longmuir. Set up. Longmuir goes back and helps Shammer out. Stevens in over the top of it. He flips it out. Simpson a run onto it. Run down by McManus, but he got it to Motlop. Roos can go inside 50. No, they can't. Grover just floated across the front of Petrie and took the defensive mark.
He started well, Grover. Direct opposition for the start of the game was Wells.
Switches on to Cook, looks behind him. No one coming at him. Harvey now from the front, tries to corral. Switches towards McFarlane. It was a good effort from Petrie, and he's won himself a free kick.
Just kept his eyes on the football.
Rocker offers the lead straight up the middle. Big Sav couldn't quite hang on. Thornton at the back. Handball went looking for Grover. Parker, he's wrapped up by Motlop, and he's got some support. Cook to Bell, and now up the middle to Sandilands. Defensive 50 for the Dockers. Headland ran on. Receives on centre wing. To half forward. Simmons the target. It'll pitch in front of he and Watt. Simmons gathered on the half volley. Handball. McManus can chip over the top. Headland still running. Started at defensive 50, and now he's got it at the forward 50. Headland from 55. Goes to the goal square. Longmuir will arrive late, but too late. Lee Colbert with a relieving mark. And it'll be 50.
It will be. Didn't come back, Justin Longmuir, so a bit of relief for the Kangaroos. I'd like to know how many times Troy Simmons has had to... The ball is pitched in front of him, and he's actually going away from his own goal.
Tell you the good thing about him, though, he does read that beautifully. Picks it up very, very quickly, gets around his left foot, and has great pace for a big man.
Speaking of pace, there's a man that's had plenty of it over the years. King, inside 50, turns the defence around. Rocker, well done, Thornton. Made a good contest of it. Under pressure, Parker. Ball spills loose. Cook, was he held without it? Doesn't matter. Comes to Rocker. Goal. Sap's got the first for the Roos. Troy Cook held? That's the question Freo fans are asking.
Tried to break the pack, though. I think fair enough. Umpire called that. Straight through the middle. There's no doubt. I think the great work there, Motlop, though, really was tough in that contest. Forwards doing the hard work. Coaches are always happy with that. Gets a good tackle on Parker. And a good one on Cook. It's just good work from the forwards there. Turning the ball, keeping in their forward 50, and giving this scoring opportunity.
Kangaroos on the board through Severio Rocker. It's Corey Jones on the boundary line. The Roos with a steadier. Margin back to 13 points.
They come back on the ground there.
Weathered the early storm. No great damage done. Need to tighten up on Peter Bell, though. Sandlin's a tap. Hazelby and Pavlich. The worrying sign at the moment is all of Fremantle's prime movers are getting plenty of the football. Colbert stands tall across half-back. Goes to his skipper. Simpson with his 5th touch already. Goes to Harvey for his first. He's a crucial player in this game. The Kangaroos need to get up and running. Harvey, backward to Makepeace. He's got King again in the centre square. Elects not to use him. Goes long to centre half forward. Wells will have to fly. Bell went back with courage. Parker. Some numbers at the back for the Dockers. Grover taken high by Brown. And he'll receive a free kick.
Starting on the wing, Peter Bell, he really is just playing almost a shadowing role on the back half, on the defensive side of the packs all the time, picking up plenty of possessions.
Switch out wide to Shammer. Goes for a run round the outer wing. Wants to step inside Stevens. It was good pressure. Walker, he's under the pump from Wells. Shammer gets it back. To half forward again. Simmons with another half volley. Pavlich thought about the give out wide. Now comes back inboard. Headland's a good finisher. Links up with Pavlich again. Kick partly smothered, but the Dockers there in numbers. McManus to Headland. Handball to a flat-footed Longmuir. Headland got it back. 30 metres out. Bang! Headland gets his first. The Dockers playing some exciting football. They're 4-1-25. The Roos one straight goal. We've played 17 minutes at Subiaco.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're playing in front. Bit of a panic handball, really, from Des Headland going in. Not a great decision. Probably didn't have a great deal of choice. But the follow-up, Longmuir, very, very clever. Didn't take possession. Just knocked it down for his teammate to run through. That's smart football by not taking possession.
A lot of question marks on Des Headland since joining Fremantle, and particularly this year. He's just started to find the footy over the last 3 weeks. Started strongly. He's had 5 disposals and a goal. Pavlich has had 9. Possessions all told, 73 Fremantle, 32 to the Kangaroos. But they get a couple now, and here's King again. Inside 50. It's going to be Grover's free. It's against Wells for a hold.
And Dean Laidley's had enough of the Peter Bell getting too much of the football with 8 possessions. Grant now starting outside the square at the bounce downs, taking a direct challenge with Peter Bell.
Grover goes wide to McFarlane. 19 points to margin. Crowd getting up near on 36,000. From half-back, McFarlane basically off one step to right half forward. Sanderland spoilt. There's Simmons again, but extremely busy. Simpson trying hard. Rawlings. There's a bounce. Again to half forward. Motlop, well done, Thornton. Bell, Cook. Did well, Cook. Did very well. Knocked on Grover. Walker, that hand pass, not great, but to the advantage of Headland. We're away again. McManus to Headland. How's he going tonight? Des Headland knocking up, getting the footy from 80 metres. Spears a pass, not good. Makepeace will chip in front of Longmuir and to take the relieving mark.
Wants to go long to the wing. Searching lead from Petrie. Good kick from Makepeace. He's got it at half-back. Petrie, third touch coming up. The young Deputy Vice-Captain of the Kangaroos. Kick to the wing. It's all Peter Bell. It was intended for Brown. Bell just drifted across the front of the contest. Took a straightforward mark. Here's Headland again. 8th touch coming up for Des.
The confusion going on at the Kangaroos camp there. Sinclair was actually coming off the ground. There was no one to take his place.
Punched away from Longmuir. Brown at ground level. Tackle came from Corey Jones. Past Pavlich to Shammer. It'll give back towards McManus. Confronted. Wells flashed across. Couldn't take possession. Pavlich threw the head back looking for a free kick and got it. Into double figures now, Matthew Pavlich. Bell has 10 as well. King and Simpson have 6 each for the Roos. It's not the margin at the moment that's the problem for the Roos. It's the worrying signs. Fremantle's big guns up and firing. Inside 50, off the hands of the pack. Medhurst under pressure from Stevens. Shammer lost his feet. Sinclair kept his head and won the football. To Grant. Searching kick to the wing. Brown back with the flight. Butters up at ground level. Got boot to ball and will gain 50 metres for his side. It trickles to the line. Thornton and Rocker will see it over as we head boundary side. Here's Lockie Reid.
Jace, plenty of action down here. Jeff Farmer coming back onto the ground. He had a bit of work on his knee, but he looks okay. So too Corey Jones. He just came on before after coming off with the blood rule. And Graham Polak looks set to come back on. He had a bit of a knock to the nose, but he's all cleaned up and ready to go.
Paul Hazelby only with 3 touches. Rawlings doing a great job, only 2 himself. Really keeping Hazelby quiet at the present time.
Sandlin's a tap was sharked by Rawlings, but picked off by McManus at defensive 50. High ball towards half forward. Simmons loses his feet. Jones in from the side, crashed into Porter. The line, Brown at ground level. He runs to 55. He runs to 45. He runs to 35. Can go for goal and almost ran himself into trouble there, Willow. He had held the ball for so long, didn't release it, was waiting for a man to come to him and was caught in two minds.
Just one too many bounces, Jace.
Make peace from defensive 50. And the Roos fortunate to get out of that one. David King has it around the outer wing.
Can he make them pay the Dockers? King again, a long probing kick inside 50. Rockers the target, at it one-handed. Around his bootstrap, Motlop. Over the footy, tunnel board out, good give, comes to Rawlings, has started well, bending kick, but not bending enough. 3 for minus score. Quick transference will play that one.
Rebound football. That's just amazing when you've got an opportunity like that. You're kicking on goal, which is a Monty, and that just 100 out of 100 times, I reckon, ends up hurting you at the other end.
Thornton goes short to Cook, who's been busy. 19 points to margin, the Kangaroos. Blown out of the water early, big fly. McFarlane didn't read it at all well. Simmons took the mark. Simpson, should I say. He goes towards an half forward. Here's Porter on his own. Too far out to score, so he goes out wide. Rocker on the lead. Good mark, good juggling effort. And Sav Rocker will go back. 45-degree angle kick from 50. Kangaroos aiming for their second goal.
Just needs to keep working up forward. Sav Rocker, if he keeps leading up, Thornton's not going to get there every time. The deliveries will get better. Dean Ledley's having to make some changes to his forward line structure. He's done that by getting Shannon Grant up to forward line, getting away from Peter Bell. Anthony Stevens now has the job on Peter Bell, who's now got 10 possessions. So Ledley trying to get his matchups right, finding it difficult with so many Fremantle players showing some very good touch.
Daniel Wells comes off the ground. Lee Harding on. Rocker came into this game, having kicked 24 goals, but in pretty good form. Already kicked one. Distance shouldn't be a problem. Big Sav from 50. Lovely long kick. Sav Rocker clears the fence. He's got two.
Graham Pollock comes back on the ground for Fremantle as Chris Connolly starts ringing the changes. Shammer comes back on. Brown going off for a rest, as he always does with his midfield. An absolute genius on getting players on and off the ground. Look at the scoreboard now. Only 2 goals in this game of football. Fremantle have dominated possession in this game. Just haven't been able to get on the scoreboard.
Well, he's one of the great goal kickers of all time, Severio Rocker. 662 goals, joins Jack Moriarty, the great Fitzroy and Essendon champion of the 20s. Matthew Lloyd also up around that vicinity today. Wonderful bag from him. More importantly at the moment for the Roos, Rocker's 2 goals have them only 13 points down. Walker just got boot to ball. It was unorthodox. Porter to Harvey. Now the Roos starting to settle and get some run of their own. King sold the dummy to Shammer. Got it back. High ball inside 50. Motlop and Rocker again. Well, he seems to have Thornton's number at the moment. He's too big and too strong. In some pretty handy form, Severio Rocker. 5 goals last week. He's kicked 26 for the year, and look, towards the end of last season, his career looked to be petering out to an end, but when he's up and firing...
Great signs for a player when they're fighting back from adversity, there's no doubt about it. David King, don't you love the way he does that? Just drops the football. I've seen him do it time and time again over his long career.
Chris Connolly making some defensive changes. Grover's come off, Hadrell's come on. Wouldn't be surprised to see Hadrell get the job on Rocker.
Totally agree. Good move.
Third one coming up for Big Sav. Puts it on the boot and guides it through. Kangaroos back in business. 3 goals to Sav Rocker. The margin just 7 points. They've weathered the early storm, held their nerve, the Kangaroos, and now they're up and going.
And some of their senior players doing it, of course. David King starting on the half-back flank. Byron Shammer actually came around, started on the wing in that last bounce down. King was by himself, has no direct opponent. I see him now standing on the half-back flank. No direct opponent again. He's going to continue giving a rebound.
Bit happier Kangaroos coaching box. But Dean Ladley gives too much away. Still they persist, the Dockers, with Thornton on Rocker. Hadrell's come on, but he's gone on to Lee Brown. As Bell off a step to half forward, ricochets off to Pavlich, no problems, gathers the footy from 50 and kicks a goal!
Someone just wrote a script for Matthew Pavlich, and he has just followed that verbatim. That is just clinical work. Super stuff. He just read it off the pack beautifully. He is a dynamo when he gets going, and he has a booming kick. Simple football. I think he's quite happy about that.
That's a bullet goal, and Matthew Pavlich has got 11 possessions with a bullet tonight. He and Bell lead the game. King has 8 for the Kangaroos. Margin 13 points. We tick over 27 minutes in the opening term. Been a dynamic quarter of football. Big crowd in, 36,000 at Subi. Great atmosphere and a very entertaining contest. Trust you're enjoying it right around the country. Sandilands and Headland combined to get it to Shammer. To 50 again for the Dockers. Polak forced to punch. Medhurst from 55 out. King goes back with a fly to the ball to stand underneath it. Simmons crashes the pack. Hazelby having a rest up forward. Gives it to McManus from 45 metres out. The veteran McManus goes for home and kicks a beauty. The Fremantle Dockers in the opening term, and just as the Kangaroos were back in striking distance, 2 quick goals and the margin back out to 19 points.
McManus doing a job, starting out on the wing at this time. The captain, Adam Simpson, nowhere to be seen. And doesn't Sean love kicking a goal? The veteran of the side, he's just absolutely loving that. They can't get their matchups right here, the Kangaroos. Keep on working it all the time. We've even got Corey Jones starting outside of the square now, going to Pavlich. Lately just looking for the correct matchups. It's a tough ask.
90 seconds to go, and in the blink of an eye, the lead has blown out again to 19 points. It's starting here in the middle. Harris under pressure. Corey Jones, interesting disposal. Dockers wanted the footy, they crashed into each other. Cook and McManus, it came back to Corey Jones. Long kick inside 50. Triple over, but it's inside the forward 50 for just the 7th time. The Kangaroos, Des Headland, as I mentioned, starting to find the football in recent weeks. In particular, in the last 15 minutes, started the game on the bench into double figures. And Daniel Wells in the foreground has had just the 2 handballs. And he's been in outstanding form. The back, Sandlin's missed it. Here's Harvey trying to get a handle on it. Little give. Back to Michael Stevens. He's running away from his own goal, then tries to straighten things up. Is it bending back enough? No. For a minor score. Very nonchalant Michael Stevens. 3-2-20 the Kangaroos. The Dockers 6-2-38 almost. And yeah.
George Greig going to be happy with that. Long ball to half-back, Brown. Goes looking for Wells, confronted by Walker. Handball smothered by McManus, he gets it to Bell. Around the outer wing for territory. Throw in with 33 seconds remaining on the clock. Great game of football this. Very entertaining. Real shootout in the opening term. Dockers by 18 points as we tick down to quarter time. Roos need a clean stoppage here. Brown. Stevens hacks it inside 50. Petrie and McFarlane. Petrie can't keep it in. 10 seconds shoot off the clock. 23 remaining.
Getting away with it at the moment, Fremantle, but David King continues to have no direct opponent, with Walker going back the other end and playing a similar role for Fremantle. I just don't think you can leave King alone. He will punish you any chance he gets.
Harris, foot of the pack. Motlop wrapped up by Woods. Ball squirts out to Stevens. Roos need a shot at goal. Jones paddles it. Porter gives it to Wells from 55. Needs to hit a target. Makepeace lurks at the back. Got to get boot to ball. 15 metres out. He does. Roos get one back right on quarter time. Great opening term of football at Subiaco. 3 goals to Rocker and now 1 to Makepeace. Give the Kangaroos 4-2-26 at quarter time. While the Dockers have 6 individual goal kickers: McManus, Headland, Grover, Longmuir, Pavlich and Farmer. Fremantle 6-2-38. The Roos 4-2-26. What a good game this is.
Oh, fantastic. Just going from one end to the other. There's one thing about the Kangaroos. They just won't go away, especially with a guy coaching them like Dean Laidley. He was tenacious as a player. He's tenacious as a coach. And this side just follows suit.
Ripping game of football. The Roos weather the early storm to fight back. But it's the Dockers by 2 goals at quarter time. One of the best quarters of football we've seen here at Subiaco all season. The Dockers with a flying start. The Kangaroos got caught up in their purple haze in the first 10 minutes. It was all Fremantle, but the Roos, as we know, steady their nerve, grit their teeth and fight back in a quarter time. It's the Dockers by just 12 points, 6-2 to 4-2. Severio Rocker, the dominant forward on the ground, he has 3 goals, while Bell, Pavlich and Headland knocked up getting possessions in that opening term for Fremantle. So take a look at the numbers. It's come in a fair bit. Willow, at one stage it was 3-1 in favour of the Dockers total disposals. Uncontested possessions are the key. Early on particularly, the Dockers just took it away from the middle without any sort of contest at all.
Yeah, there's I think there's so much running away there. Dean Laidley really getting into his charges here. A couple of things didn't go right. Sean McManus coming off the ground. I think, Tim, maybe that was for just getting a bit overexcited, kicking a goal when it's only 10 or 15 minutes into a game of football. Just really not time to lair yet.
One other game of round 15 action on this evening. Another crucial game on the other side of the continent. Sydney hosting Adelaide at the SCG. Replay scheduled on various networks. So if you don't want to know the score, look away now. Let's head boundary side. Here's Lockie Reid.
Well, Jace, the Kangaroos very happy with Sav Rocker's first quarter performance. He's kicked 3 goals, of course. He's actually kicked bags of 11, 9 and 6 against the Dockers. They'll need him to do that again during this game. The Fremantle Dockers pretty cool, calm and collected. Chris Connolly disappointed, though, with the final 30 seconds of that quarter.
Severio Rocker is on his way. He's booted 3 for the Kangaroos. They've persisted with Scott Thornton, the youngster playing just his 8th game of football. They've hung in there with him.
Little surprise with that. I really thought Hadrill would have been the man for the job. Has been very, very good. Still on Lee Brown at centre-half back. Very unfamiliar territory for Hadrill.
Second term at Subiaco. More than 36,500 on hand. It's the Dockers by 12 points. Longmuir to Shammer. He's been busy. 9 touches for him in the opening term. Harris pinched it to Michael Stevens to Rawlings. Ineffective kick picked off by Hadrill. Cook. Handball pass Petrie to Headland. Centre wing. Towards half forward. Simmons the target. Medhurst at the back. Worked his man under the football. It was Archer.
Free kick.
And Farmer was alone in the goal square. The ball will come back. I mentioned he worked his man off the ball. Umpire said it was illegal. Steve McBurney got him in the back.
I watched the replay though. Glenn Archer is a master. He's been around a long time. Soon you play nose, he'll take a nice little dive here. Of course he did. And rightfully so.
Archer inside his own defensive 50. A wily veteran to the wing. Petrie the target. It was a good effort against 2, not paid. Play on. Handball to Stevens. Down the line to Simpson. Tried the Harlem Globetrotter special. But we'll have a throw in. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I love it. I love it when someone, a backman staging.
Throw in. Over the head of Longmuir. Pavlich at the back. 2 of them trying to take him down. Harris and Corey Jones. Ball up. Corner of the centre square. Players tonight, McBurney, Goldspink and Schmidt. 3 experienced men in orange. Plenty of players around this contest. Longmuir slaps it into open space. Rawlings tracks it back. Farmer approaches. Handball off to Makepeace. Got it to Harris. And now Corey Jones, kick partly touched off the boot. Through the hands of Harris. Anthony Stevenson, Headland. Was Headland taken down? Umpires. Goldspink says, ball it up. As Headland just questions the sanity of that decision.
And he would have suggested that it wasn't a ball up. I think reading his lips.
Not the first time they've come close in this quarter. Headland did run into the umpire at the pass to bounce as well. So
Stevens and Bell getting to know each other again during the quarter. Hazelby and Rawlings still doing the tango.
Cook and McManus on the bench, combined total 15 disposals in that first quarter. They gang tackled Bell.
Rawlings really has had some great scouts in the last few weeks. He's up to 5 possessions. And Hazelby, who is the #1 stat holder for Fremantle across the board, only with 4.
Longmuir up. There's a bit going on around this footy now. Well done, King. Quick give to Simpson off a step. Petrie out of position. McFarlane, his eyes always on it. He was always in the best position to take that mark, Luke McFarlane. Goes short to Parker. Gets around his man far too easy. And Stevens then kicks long inside 50, just to Longmuir. Went out at one-handed. Rawlings doing a great job on Hazelby. Goes out wide. Brown did well in, threw it on the boot. Or just the run of the ball. Ended up with Bell. Sham hit hard. Comes back to Brown. Did well. Here's Wells. At half forward. Goes by hand to Grant. Can come inboard to Petrie. Goes back with a hand pass to Wells. He'll go back 30 metres with a searching handball for Lee Brown from 80. Terrible kick. Shocking kick. Everyone was running back to the goal square. Thornton, the run of the ball. Havlich to half back. Kangaroos have numbers around here, and here comes Simmons again. He hasn't had a ball delivered anywhere near him. It's pitch, half volley, bounced in front of him on numerous occasions, and the Kangaroos have worked it out to half forward. Michael Stevens inboard at the top of the centre square. Here's King on the lead. Harris in best position.
What a kick.
Yeah, it was a great kick, but Shammer seemed to lose contact with Harris, and Harris would go back to kick the first goal of the second quarter.
Spoke about this in the first term. You can't afford to stand off David King because he is going to punish you. He was actually the attack for the Kangaroo side, always coming off the half-back line, always uses the ball well. And how you can stand off such an experienced and exciting player like him has got me baffled.
6 goals for the year. Reverse angle. So get the Roos blood pumping. Kicks the goal. The Kangaroos are on the march. Within 6 points.
Go back Somar for Fremantle. Troy Simmons has been leading up so hard. And again, a poor disposal goes to a turnover, giving the Kangaroos the opportunity. Switches play, other side, Kangaroos on the board. Troy Simmons wouldn't be a happy guy. He would have led 100 metres to a poor kick. Disappointing when you're a forward.
Roos back within a goal. It was 11-0 the inside 50s at the start of the game. Fremantle with the first 11 of the match. It's now 19-11 in favour of the Dockers. So since then, Kangaroos have certainly squared things up. Very efficient rating going forward as well. 11 inside 50s for 7 scores. Petrie inside 50 again. Pack flies at the front of it was Hadrill. He marks in front of Motlop. Dishes off to Bell for his 14th touch. To the wing. Hayden has to stand and wait. Harris went to ground. Roger Hayden's away. Spearing kick to the lead of Simmons, and he's got it 65 from home.
That's better.
Wheels onto the left boot. Spears it inside 50, looking for Medhurst. It was too hot. Here's Farmer. The whiz at the back. Was looking for Hayden, who kept running. Colbert picked it off, and the moment passes. Archer sets up Watt. And then goes in to help his mate out. Got boot to ball, and it was a very effective boot. Because Simpson, again, can now use David King. He's made a career out of streaming off half-back. Couple of bounces. Inboard to Harvey. Harvey will go to 50. Good defensive pressure again. Parker. This came from Hazelby. Now the ball goes out to Brown. Can go for another searching run. Down the outer wing. Harvey confronts him. Brown gets it inside 50. He's been pinged for running too far. The worst thing that can happen to Andrew Brown tonight is to get some open space.
Well, that's probably a good call, but really that came from frustrated forwards who have so far during the course of the night probably let up time and time again to no reward. This time they just didn't lead. Anthony
Stevens has it on centre wing. Goal the difference after the Dockers flew out of the blocks. Their first 10 minutes of the game was nothing short of scintillating. The Kangaroos gritted their teeth and worked their way back into the contest to half forward. Big fly from Rocker. At ground level, a dangerous Harvey. Parker got enough of him to bring him down. Grant uses strength. Thornton runs him down. Harvey tickles the football. Flips a handball over the top. All the big names getting involved for the Kangaroos. Anthony Stevens squares it up and finds Rawlings, 55 from goal. Hands off. Michael Stevens on the run. Flying shot across the face of goal. And Hayden, the late inclusion for Matthew Carr, takes the mark in the back pocket.
Kangaroos doing all the attacking, but they've added just the one goal. 8 minutes in this second quarter. Hayden, an interesting kick, almost lazy kick. Numbers favour the Roos. Second quarter, a staggering 24-5 handballs. Plenty of run. At times, though, getting themselves out of a sticky situation, the Roos.
It's the reverse of the first quarter.
Longmuir grabbed it out of the air, got a problem. Almost holding the ball, should be penalised and was.
And that is the rule.
It's paid advantage to Lee Brown, throws it on the boot. Rocker trying to push off Thornton again. Does the hard work, comes to Motlop. How is that nonchalant? What a goal! All tied up. I reckon he wasn't going half pace. Motlop just knew what he had to do.
Severio Rocker in the last 5 minutes has dropped 2 chest marks, but Thornton just can't go with his weight. He's just too big to get around, and all you have to do is compete, get the football to ground, because they still have very, very good players. They should have taken the mark, dropped an easy one, did it a couple of seconds before, always giving opportunities to his forwards on the floor.
So Chris Connolly demonstrating stubborn faith in Scott Thornton, who gives away a staggering 22 kilos to Severio Rocker. Scores level. 9 minutes gone, second term. Chris Connolly backing his youngster in. Petrie out of the ruck. Can't get it away from the congestion at the moment. He's ripped off it by McManus. Ball up.
Very good, Petrie. Really has just halved every contest so far with Longmuir and allowed the Kangaroos, almost swore then by saying North Melbourne, the opportunity to get out of the square and attack.
Pavlich wrenched himself free. McManus to Medhurst and the boundary line. So the gauntlet has been returned to the feet of the Fremantle Dockers after they threw it at the Kangaroos in the opening 10 minutes. The crowd approaching 37,000. Petrie the tap to Harris. Up and coming on ball up for the Kangaroos. Taking a pick number 14 in the 2000 draft. Great 2001, showed some real promise. Lacked chances in 2002, just the 4 games. 14 games last year. He's playing his 14th tonight, really starting to blossom. Daniel Harris at senior level. Averaging 16 touches a game this season. Anthony Stevens, in fact it was Michael got the tap. Hazelby to McManus. Headland. Motlop to run him down. It was a great chase. Umpire said Headland tried to get boot to ball. Pavlich wrapped up by Corey Jones. Has some suggestions for Darren Goldspink. Darren will take those on board and bounce it.
Too sure if that wasn't a free kick.
It's holding the ball, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Longmuir palmed it out beautifully to Bell. Slips away from Corey Jones. Runs to 55. Wants to get back on the left. Ducked through the Stevens tackle, but gave it up. Colbert to the wing. Hayden and Jones. Hayden keeps it alive. Medhurst takes it out. Throw in. Crowd didn't like it, but Peter Bell did duck the head.
It's been an absolute fantastic battle. Peter Bell was absolutely sensational early in the first quarter. Probably the 20-minute mark, just picked up kick after kick, but ever since Stevens has gone on there, it's really just turned into a ding-dong battle.
In fairness, Stevens actually only slapped him across the back. Longmuir, Bell again linking up. Hayden to Headland. Inside 50, deep to the pocket. Chance for Simmons, couldn't hang on. Watt tries to muscle him off. Brown. Colbert runs it through. Minor score to the Dockers. They lead by that margin. 12 minutes gone, second term. Fantastic contest at Subiaco.
It's an absolute rip-up. Good mark. Stevens under enormous pressure. Got up running. Worked it to centre wing with just the one kick. Now over half forward. Motlop. Grant took his eye off it, but does well. Works his way back into gain possession. Looping hand pass to Stevens. Numbers around the footy. That kick, not great. Grover running back the flight. Stood and waited. Petrie. Simpson hacked it out of the air. This will test Thornton again. Opposed to Rocker. Give that to Simpson for the long hack. From outside 50. Scores level again.
Paul Medhurst coming off for a break. The tall coming on, the short coming off. The tall and Andrew and Sandilands. It's twice the bloke.
Brown is also off. Shammer back on. Justin Longmuir. Here's McFarlane. This is the run that was a concern for the Kangaroos off halfback. Inside 50. Makepeace fighting out of his height division. Shammer under pressure. King, deft touch towards the line, but danger. Farmer. Again, centres it to the top of the goal square.
I did the right thing.
Actually, that was good sliding defence from the Kangaroos then. Makepeace left his man and saved the day in the end. They scrapped it beautifully. It was looking like a certain goal. Petrie to King at centre half back. Straight up the middle. Michael Stevens has slipped away again. Sandilands tries to run him down. Gets there just too late. Ball inside 50. Rocker's so big and strong. So big and strong. As I mentioned, 22 kilos the difference between Thornton and Rocker. And Sav can go back for number 4.
File note. Move Thornton off Rocker. 10 minutes ago.
So Chris Conley backing his youngster in just to show some faith.
It's all good showing faith, but the boy's fighting out of his weight division here. And he's in great touch, Sav Rocker too. There's no doubt about the way he's been just working his way back into it. All credit to him.
Robert Hadrill, the obvious replacement. He's 10 kilos heavier than Scott Thornton.
Well, there's probably still the weight division there, isn't it? But you know that Hadrill just a stronger and always play in front.
So a delay as Severio relaces the boot.
I think the move's going to be made here. The runner has spoken to Pollack.
Crowd getting agitated, but time off's been blown, so it's no consequence whatsoever.
I mean, Pollack would be a very good choice, only because he's always got those telescopic arms that just manage to get there and touch the ball away, and very rarely gets beaten in the air. He'll always halve it, giving your runners opportunities to pick the ball up and get the rebound.
So Rocker booted 3 in the opening term. It was really the avenue for the Kangaroos to get back into the game. Geez, a good kick. He's got 4. The Kangaroos lead by a goal. 15.5 minutes gone, second term at Subi.
Chris Connolly looking for some changes. Matthew Pavlich going down to the forward 50, probably starting at full forward, leading out. Will Glenn Archer be his man?
Great finish from Severio Rocker. 4 tonight, 664 in what's been a fantastic career up forward.
You just sensed Sav was going to be an important player in this game, and I reckon that's where Chris Conley is still looking, still debating. They stick with Thornton. 4 of the 7 goals off the boot of Sav Rocker for the Kangaroos. Sandland's hand pass to half forward. King a hand in and then gets the ricochet off. Hazelby and a bounce. Another born-again player for the Kangaroos. Rocker and King has another bounce. Kicks it long, probing. Sandlands has to get back and does. Rocker was forced to spur from behind.
Great courage by the big fella. Kept his eyes on the football. Rewarded with a free kick. Gotta love the way David King moves the football up the ground.
Shammer marks and goes, and then straight down the middle. Now Archer will intercept this one. Pavlich leading out hard. Sandlands basically marking Rocker further down the ground. The Kangaroos are now working up from half-back. Farmer got rid of by Harvey. Makepeace to Sinclair. Down the line, Motlop. And McFarlane. Walker will run it over. Now Sandlands has camped himself out about 20 metres in front of Rocker and Thornton. Now there's a bit going on between Rocker and Thornton. Thornton is... he's not taking a backward step, but Rocker's certainly letting him know what sort of night he's having. And Dean Laidley. Here it is here, the combatants. The points so far clearly to Rocker. Throw in. McFarlane gathers. Ooh, he's taken high. It was a pretty strong tackle. Nothing doing. Ball spills to Parker. Chips. Interesting kick, not great. Polak, Colbert dropped it. Headland from 50, threw it on the boot. Ordinary kick. Running back to the flight was Farito. He's out of bounds on the full Des Headland. Not bad for a mongrel punt. Throw in. A kick in. Kangaroos, and they want to get on quickly.
Grant at half-back has to bring it back. Roos by goal, approaching half-time. Fantastic game of football, this. Farito. Adjacent to the behind post. Brings it out to half-back. Simpson floated across your screen. Umpire said it was an assisted float. He'll take a free kick for a push in the back. By the look. High ball to the wing. Porter across the front for the Roos. Couldn't bring it down. Brown. Now Cook to Bell. To half forward. Longmuir floats over the top. He is riding a wave of confidence at the moment. He's Justin Longmuir. 70 metres out from goal. High ball towards the top of the square. Archer back with courage. Farmer at the back with skill. Two goals to Jeff Farmer. Scores level again as we head towards time on in the second term. A double change. Michael Stevens off for his brother Anthony, while Polak off, Simmons on for the Dockers.
Well, you just got to keep peppering it up. And you've got small forwards like Medhurst and Farmer. Something's going to come sooner or later. And Jeffrey's down, waiting for the crumb and slots it through. Few injury worries at the moment for the Kangaroos. At the moment, David King holding his hip. Bit sad and sorry. After a bit of a whack, it'll be a loss if he can't stand up for the Kangaroos.
All tied up again. Farmer's got two. Broke a run of 4 consecutive goals for the Kangaroos. The first for the quarter for the Dockers. Shammer had more time than Skyder. Strong kick. Great courage. McFarlane. You can never question it. That was exceptional. Gets on with the game. Numbers favour Freo. No, work it out nicely. Des Headland. Strong mark. Well done, Luke McFarlane. Outstanding stuff.
Lost their opponents there, didn't they? There was a couple of Dockers inside 50 on their own.
Yeah, good move forward, though, I think, from Connolly's going, taking McFarlane forward. Standing there, didn't have a direct opponent. Good, strong mark. He has been fantastic all year in the air. So Connolly really ringing the changes, looking for something just to spark it, put Pavlich forward. Now McFarlane.
2 in a minute for Freo. Desi has got a couple himself.
Momentum swings in this game continue.
Really run off very well, Des Headland, from the half-back line tonight. Used the football as that low, long, flat drop punt. No room for error, and he pops it around. Been very, very handy. Starting to work into some great form.
His confidence play, there's no doubt about that. His confidence is up at the moment. Des Headland's second goal gives the Dockers a 6-point lead. There's over 6 minutes remaining until half-time. Sandlands at quarter in the ruck. Socket off the deck by Hadrell. Simpson tracks it back. Coming the other way, Pavlich. Shammer bumped off the ball by Brown. Tried to get it to Sinclair. Here's Grant. Smothered off the boot of King. Hadrell goes again into open space on centre wing. Simpson. Farmer will appear from right of screen. Simpson can flip it over the top to Farmer's opponent, Makepeace. Handball wide of Harvey's body. Throw in.
He does that well, Farmer, though, doesn't he? He really does run at him hard. He does make him look
I think he's pretty scary when he does it, actually. I think,
His legs are going.
it's not going to be the size that's going to hurt you, but the look must be absolutely horrifying.
He's worked well when he hasn't had the ball tonight, Jeff Farmer. Hazelby caught one in the back from Rawlings.
Hazelby's going to jump up for only his 7th touch, which is very unusual.
Averaging 26 a game this season, inside 50. Oh, Makepeace at the back was skillful and clean. Sinclair to Stevens, has got a couple of runners in Grant and Harding. The former gathers and goes to Rocker at 55. No one at all inside 50. Sav could go the journey if he decides to wind up and go himself. Harding tracks back to the square. Rocker looks further afield, launches it long and straight, touched on the line by Walker. Another magnificent kick from Severio Rocker.
Very ordinary effort there to Shepherd. That should have been full body, just keeping your opponent out. There was a half-hearted effort. Lee Harding should have done a lot better job than that. Disappointing effort.
So Chance goes begging for the Roos. They trail by 5 points as Parker brings it in and finds Shammer at defensive 50. Shammer down the line. Sandilands, a big man, made the move and took the mark. He's got Hayden inboard. He's covered now. He decides to go to him nonetheless. It was a beautiful kick because King was sitting just off Roger Hayden's shoulder. Inside 50, Simmons ran underneath it. Received some assistance. Ferrito to Makepeace. Sinclair away around the outer side. He's got Grant inboard. If he gets onto his left, he does. Woods will arrive late and force a contest. Dion Woods outnumbered. Put his body on the line. Won the football for the Dockers. It was great play. This could set up a sensational passage through Headland. Inside 50. Longmuir worked Archer off the football. Longmuir under pressure in the pocket. Tries to break free. Great tackle from Glenn Archer. And the Roos see off the pressure through Colbert. He'll go long back towards the wing. Harvey couldn't quite reel it in. Rawlings under pressure. He's legged. Free kick, Kangaroos.
Coach Dean Laidley picked up on the call. Lee Harding came off the ground. Daniel Modlop goes back on. It's punishment for not doing the right thing by your side.
And interesting, Drew Petrie is actually telling him that on the boundary line. Petrie, who's stretching, signalling to Lee Harding and throwing his arm back, talking about that lack of a shepherd. So noticed by his teammates. Laidley won't be happy. Here's Wells from 50. Thornton, Rocker, again Rocker in front. Ball spills. Brown, Rocker just shepherds Thornton away. Lee Brown, throopity bit, bending it back, not far enough.
And Big Sav says that's how you shepherd. Get your dirty, great big mitts out.
There's Drew Petrie running up to come back on the ground. Brown is on, Farmer off.
Could have shepherded off 3 Thorntons in, couldn't he, Sav?
Oh, he's a big man. There's no doubt about that.
Parker told to bring the ball back in. Great game of footy, entertaining. Corey Jones and Hadrill up, strong mark, played on with a handball to Cook. Towards centre half forward, here's Simmons again. Push Colbert in the back. Have away a free kick, don't kick a pad, you could find a 50.
Oh, what a frustrating night it is for Troy Simmons. He's done the right thing. Leeds presents all night. If they're not on the ground, they're up in the air.
Kangaroos have numbers out wide. They could chip over the top here. King goes by hand to Makepeace. And so he's in a bit of a pickle. They're going to have to come back inboard. Sinclair now. This looks like an exercise from keepy off Byron Shammer. King leans back on the kick. Motlop shields his eyes from the lights. Wells was pushed in the back. No free kick. Bell underneath a couple of Kangaroo tackles. One was Wells. Motlop and Grant was also there. 4 points to margin. It was 12 in favour of the Dockers at quarter time. King with 16 disposals. Simpson 14. Bell 17 and Headland 15. Porter wins it down. Bell was held without it. And we'll get the free kick.
Shammer away from half-back. 2 minutes remaining till half-time. Ferrito forced a 2-on-1. Spilt to the back. Archer, tackled by Longmuir, was happy to let it go over the line. Umpire says holding the ball.
And Fremantle have just got nothing but talls up forward. 2 big fellas. Headland screaming forward.
Justin Longmuir inside 50. Simmons in best position. Spills to the back. Numbers over the back of the contest. Pavlich taken down. Ball still alive. Sinclair slid in, put pressure on.
Great tackle for Rito.
15 metres out from the Dockers' goal. Under 2 minutes remaining until half-time. just under 37,000.
Did it well just to keep out of his back.
Porter down to Ferrito, slaps towards the line. Sinclair tracks it there. Fumbles, almost the back heel over the line. Sinclair got it. Archer back with courage. How many times we said that over the years? Longmuir. Hayden can run to 50. Roger Hayden, low trajectory kick. Just misses to the near side. Fremantle pressing late in the second term. They led by 12 points at quarter time, but the Roos came out firing. There's Sav on the boundary line, maybe just having an extended half-time break. Makepeace's kick, went looking for Simpson. Got rid of McManus, but couldn't gather inside the line. We'll have a throw-in. 1:17 left on the clock.
Done a reasonable job, I think, McManus so far on Simpson. Just hasn't been telling with his disposals. So at the moment, bit of a draw.
Fremantle by 12 points at quarter time. The Roos got as much as 6 points in front in the second term. For the Dockers, kicked a couple of quick ones to regain the lead. Anthony Stevens towards Petrie, who's Thornton's new opponent. Out of bounds centre wing.
A bit going on the forward 50 for the Dockers. Sandilands being pulled away off the top of Rawlings by Simpson.
Still very tall in Fremantle's forward line with Simmons, Longmuir, McFarlane, the only guys inside 50.
Contested ball. Hazelby, they gang tackled him. They read with interest during the week in the newspaper that there was a plan for Hazelby to try and nullify his midfield dominance. He's had just the one kick and 6 handballs.
Would you suggest it's working, Tim?
It is, but that's released Bell, Headland, Shammer, Davlich, and a few others.
Didn't mention them in the paper.
And he's now coming off Hazelby.
Oh, has a little bit of the haze going on.
And the tagger comes off. Brady Rawlings, he'll enjoy the break. So that's his job. Wherever Hazelby goes, Rawlings will go. He's 5th in the club, fairest to best last year, Brady Rawlings.
Amazing taggers actually get on a roll themselves. When they get scalp after scalp, the confidence grows.
There's Farmer, a chance for Freo to maybe get a goal before half-time. Hand pass, Shammer will kick it long. McFarlane will fly at the back. Ball clears the pack. Archer had to be good and was. He used all his experience to gather, and he's cleared the line with the kick. Still got 20 seconds to go. Pavlich realises they're running out of time. Very good vision. Well, read it well. He's paid the push. Did well, Jones, I thought, to come in and spoil. But McManus has received the free kick. Unlucky in the end, I thought, Jones. Yeah, no doubt it was there, but
almost the mark was really there. He got there just a little late. It was a great attempt. McManus did it well. Kept his eyes on the football.
It's always difficult for the defender running back with the flight of the ball. But this will hurt the Kangaroos right on. Half-time, he's already kicked a goal. Sean McManus. Directly in front, 45 out. Scrapes it home. 11 points, Freo. Kicked the last 3.
And he's very happy about it. Sean McManus too. And when you're doing a tagging job there and you're actually hurting the opposition on the scoreboard and you're having a nice night out, Sean McManus done a great job. David King and Matthew Pavlich don't like each other much.
11 points the margin. McManus with 2 goals, joining Headland and Farmer with 2 apiece. Bounce the ball in the middle, a mere formality. Sandlands will get one more hit-out stat, and that will be all for half-time. What a great game of football it's been, and there's plenty more to come. Spirits rising in the second term. Kangaroos came out and kicked the first 3 of the quarter to take the lead. And then the Dockers responded with the final 3 goals of that second term. They led by 12 points at quarter time. It's now 11 points at half time. Thoroughly entertaining game of football. It's had a bit of everything. Free-flowing, open Plenty of great, courageous defence. That man, David King, has been fantastic off half-back, along with Makepeace and Simpson mopping up as well. Severio Rocker up forwards, booted 4 goals. Chris Connolly stuck with the youngster Scott Thornton on him. This one is well and truly in the balance at half-time. Such a crucial game for both these sides. The Dockers sitting on 8 wins and 6 losses. The Roos are 7 and 7. This one's in the balance at half-time. Don't go away. A great half of football coming up. And at the major break, the Dockers 9-4-58 lead the Kangaroos 7-5-47. Half-time at Subiaco. Great game of football, this one. The Dockers leading by 11 points. If you're just joining us, grab a hot one or a cold one, whatever your preference. Grab a comfy chair and sit back for a ripping second half of action. The Dockers leading by 12 points at quarter time. The Kangaroos came out, kicked the first 3 goals of the quarter. They hit the front, and then Fremantle responded with the last 3 goals of that second term to pretty much have us where we were at quarter time. The Dockers by 11 points at the major break. Jason Bennett alongside Peter Wilson. First 10 minutes of the game were all Fremantle. Inside 50s, 11-0. It looked like the Roos were going to get blown away here at Subiaco, but they settled, they gritted their teeth, they worked their way back into the contest, and now we've got a sensational game.
Oh, there's something about the Kangaroos, Jason. They're never going to let you go. They just fight and just put their head over the football all the time. Rebound on half-back, just continues time and time again. Delivery to this guy, Troy Sims, hasn't been flash from the midfield from Fremantle, and that has hurt them on the scoreboard.
Early days, the Kangaroo half-back line didn't get a chance to get involved in their game, and it was the half-back line who did turn it eventually, but early on it was Fremantle straight out of the centre, kicked across the half-forward line, deep into attack, as we see here, the likes of Jeff Farmer. So much time to kick goals early, it was one-way traffic.
Midfield was on fire. Peter Bell just getting a heap of football. Matthew Pavlich giving them plenty of run, and Des Headland off the half-back flank, really just storming through and using the football very well.
That's how the Roos got back into the game. Scrapping, good pressure, around the contests, hard work, tackling, smothering. The way we know the Kangaroos love to play their football, and ultimately it was their half-back line, the likes of Makepeace and King, Archer, Colbert, who started to provide some run and drive.
And just very, very good experience when you talk about those guys in the back half of for the Kangaroos. They just continue to be alive. Glenn Archer just keeps throwing his body around, and this man, David King, well, he just continues to give them rebound all the time. Sean McManus done a great job so far. 2 goals in the game, doing a direct job on Simpson, and so far you'd say that at the moment is a winning move for Connolly and the Fremantle Footy Club.
It's an exciting brand of football at both ends. It's quite free-flowing at times, yet the defensive work from both sides has been fantastic. There's Troy Makepeace. He's playing in the back pocket on Jeff Farmer. As you can see, drag Farmer all the way down to the other end of the ground to kick a goal himself right on quarter time.
And that would just absolutely shatter a coach. Jeff Farmer really shouldn't have been jumping up, trying to go into the take the mark. Should have stayed down with his opposition team. Really just did the wrong thing. Connolly would have been happy.
Severio Rocker's been the dominant forward on the ground. He's booted 4. Chris Connolly's persisted with Scott Thornton backing his youngster in.
Yeah, look, and a mismatch. I mean, it's just too big, Sav. He's just a big fella, too strong for Thornton, and he shouldn't be continuing in that role.
The Roos had more of the football in the second term. They've evened up that disposal count. In fact, it's pretty even right the way down the board, except for the inside 50s. We're pretty much back where we were after 10 minutes, that same sort of dominance. Since then, it's been roughly 50-50.
And I think, again, haven't used the football Fremantle very well into their forward line. Just towards the end of the second quarter there, they had a very, very tall forward line. They had Pavlich down there. They had McFarlane down there and also Simmons, but the football just not used, not delivered to their forwards the way it should have been.
Leading stat getters there for the Kangaroos, mostly gathering those across half-back, which is where their run and carry and their real drive's coming from. The likes of Troy Makepeace. Longmuir continues his fantastic form. Pavlich threatens to break the game open at any moment. And Severio Rocker, well, he's the dominant forward.
And very, very hard to beat. In great touch, Severio.
Great game of footy. It all adds up to an 11-point half-time lead for the Fremantle Dockers. We'll be back to take a look at some of the great one-on-one matchups from the first half right after this. Good to see our little Oz kicking around kids, doing the hard things, Willow. It's not all about getting the pit of yourself, is it?
Love it. I love how they get over the top there and they get their hands in, smothering the football. Fantastic.
Half-time at Subiaco. Great game of football, this one. The Fremantle Dockers leading by 11 points. Let's take a look at some of the crucial movers and shakers in this game. Starting up forward for the Kangaroos, you mentioned Severio Rocker, 4 goals. He really was their avenue to get back into the contest after they were blown away early.
He's the Rock of Gibraltar. He's very, very hard to move. Once he sticks out that big backside of his, Scotty Thornton's really going to struggle trying to move it.
22 kilo weight advantage from Rocker, 108 kilos, and he may even be a little bit heavier than that. Thornton listed at 86. And Rocker's such a great finisher in these conditions where there's no breeze. Anywhere within 60 metres, he's a chance.
Yeah, it's just too strong. There's no doubt about that. The way he does finish off is so important.
So what's the logic? Chris Connolly backing his youngster in. Does he not want to move him to break his confidence? Scott Thornton playing only his 8th game of footy, or does he be a little bit more pragmatic in the righto and make a change?
If you want to win a game of football, you don't want to continue having a dominant forward. Make a change.
Matthew Pavlich, good record against the Kangaroos in recent times. Polled a couple of Brownlow votes against them at the MCG last year and has been influential tonight. 14 possessions, 5 inside 50s and a goal himself.
Yeah, just giving him a fantastic drive through the midfield. Connolly put him forward towards the end of the second quarter, probably just giving him a break. I'm sure we'll see him back in the midfield. He was dominant, uses the football so well.
Tall midfield option, very difficult to match up on, and particularly early on when the Dockers really ran hot. He had 10 possessions in the blink of an eye.
Just haven't been able to find a direct opponent for him at the moment. They've tried a couple of guys on them, so look, I think Pavlich could be the key to the game.
It was the half-back line for the Kangaroos that got them back in the game. King, Makepeace, Archer, Colbert, Stevens and Grant got back there, as did Simpson. This man, David King's made a career out of winning uncontested possession at half-back, charging forward and bombing it long.
It's pretty easy to get uncontested football when you actually don't have a direct opponent. James Walker is his opponent. He is at the other end of the ground every time the ball is bounced, starting in the same role as David King. He is having a birthday. It's quite easy to get a kick in football when you don't have someone standing next to you.
Doing it at both ends of the ground. 16 possessions for King. He's had 6 inside 50s and 3 rebound 50s, so he really is having influence at both ends of the ground. And this game is still well and truly up for grabs. Just 11 points the margin at half-time.
I'm just absolutely set for a bottle. I can't wait till they get on the park. I think it'll get harder and the pace will lift during the third quarter.
Can it lift? It's been full throttle so far in the first half. Both sides going full out attack. It makes for a ripping second half. Don't go away. It's the Dockers leading by 11 points. Back with a third term right after this. Kangaroos making their way back out onto Subiaco Oval for the second half of what's been a fantastic game. Really entertaining first half of football. Dockers leading it by 11 points at the major break. Well, there's one other game of round 15 action on this evening. It is at the SCG. Sydney hosting Adelaide. Another crucial game, that one, particularly for the Sydney Swans. Replay scheduled on various networks, so if you don't want to know the score, look away now. There's Scott Thornton, had the big job on Severio Rocker in the first half. Interesting to see if he lines up on him again as we head down to Lockie Reed on the boundary line.
Well, it would have to be the coldest night of footy at Subiaco Oval in 2004. Absolutely freezing down here. 9 degrees right now, expected to drop to as low as 3. Let's hope it doesn't drop too quickly. Both sides, I'm sure, are very wary of cramp coming into this second half. The physios are ready for a big second half of rubbing. And just telling you that Paul Hazelby has had some stitches on his neck, but he is right to play. He'll be in the 18 as we start this second half. Both sides pretty well rested. The Kangaroos got a chance to rest Rocker, Shannon Grant and also Simpson late in that first half.
Darren Goldspink just taping up the whistle fingers, preparing for the third term.
Paul Medhurst back on into the forward line for Fremantle. Haven't changed a great deal. A lot of the tall timber still down there. Pavlich, Simmons, Longmuir and Thornton still with Sav Rocker up on that square for the North Melbourne boys.
11 points the margin as we prepare for the third term. More than 36,500 on hand at Subiaco. Just waiting for the merchandise trolley to wheel off the playing surface. There it is. Does the lap of the boundary line during half-time.
Probably get Lockie Reed a beanie.
I know, 9 degrees. He's not going to get a lot of sympathy from the other side of the continent.
He doesn't like it when it rains. He doesn't like it when it's cold. What does he want to do? Play it in summer.
Doesn't like it when it's too hot. He's got to put too much plus 35 on the top of those locks.
Third term Subiaco. Dockers by 11 points. Sandilands got the tap. It was taken off his hands by Anthony Stevens. To centre half forward. Hadrill, an awkward bounce. Harvey tries to paddle to his own advantage, being harassed by Hayden. Bell, slick hands to Shammer. Went looking for Hadrill, confronted by Simpson. Handball missed the body of Farmer. Here's McManus, now to Farmer. Bursts through centre half forward, flips it over the top to Pavlich. Thought about the give, stands and delivers from 50 metres. It's going, it's home! Great start for the Dockers. Pavlich gets his second goal. We mentioned Severio Rocker, so dangerous from anywhere around 60 metres at the other end. Matthew Pavlich, if he's got time to balance himself in and around the 50, deadly boot.
He's all class, just polished, takes his time here. One step, one goal. Thank you very much. Sean McManus did it well. His North Melbourne opponent in the middle of the ground just fell down, lost his feet, went to ground. McManus kept his feet.
Matthew Pavlich has kicked 2. The Dockers have kicked the last 4 goals of the game. The Kangaroos did lead by 6 points midway through that second quarter. Freo are now in control and going forward again through Headland. A spiral kick inside 50. Ferrito forced to spoil. Rawlings, Longmuir, tunnel ball out the back. Hazelby, scooping hand pass to Farmer, slipped, got a problem.
Oh, push.
And we'll get a free kick for pushing the back.
There's no good arguing about that. Just lost his feet, did Rawlings in that contest. And nothing he could do. Straight into back of Jeff Farmer.
Oh, really?
Oh, that free kick's a simple one.
You think he was in his back?
What, you're allowed to do that, are you? You can just put the saddle on, put your knee in there.
I still don't think he touched his back.
Giddy up.
He had one arm on the right side of his body and went over the top of the left.
Oh, relax.
Anyway, behind the Farmer kick from 50. He runs to the right and he decides to pass it. Brilliant stuff, good vision. And Peter Bell, a lot closer to goal and a lot better angle.
Jeffrey Farmer, 40 metres out from goal, has passed the football. Loves a goal as Jeff Farmer. Beautiful kick. Peter Bell is having a night out. Goes to his 19th touch.
Peter Bell. This will stretch it to the biggest lead of the game. Bird's eye view. Fremantle lead by 23 points. Bell has his first. Still don't reckon it was a free kick.
Oh well, that's a beautiful thing about Australian rules. Umpires can't get it right, neither can commentators. This is almost like a replay from the first quarter. Fremantle just jump out, shotgun start, big Aaron Sandlands, down that goes, giving the opportunity to his small midfielders. First opportunity. All good football for Fremantle.
Dockers slip away again, out to 23 points. Kofi Annan alongside Tim Gossage and Peter Wilson. The Roos need a steadier. Momentum all with Fremantle. It is a mirror image of the opening term. Sandlin set up his man, but McManus gets it to Parker. Roos have to hang in again. They can't afford to get blown away. Colbert wrapped up by Simmons at forward 50 for the Dockers. Umpire will bounce.
Big tackle by Simmons, and that's got to hurt. Full weight landing on top of Lee Colbert. He has copped some hammerings over the time.
Sandilands. I said shepherding in the ruck contest. It's going the way of the Kangaroos. It's going to Adam Simpson. Skipper dishes off to King. So creative in the first half for the Kangaroos. Again, he'll kick long towards half forward through the hands of Hadrill. At the back of the pack is Harvey. Rocker one-on-one with Thornton inside 50. Ball hits the deck. That's to the advantage of Thornton. Rocker just mauls him. Swallows him up. Walker to Headland. He goes to half forward looking for Hazelby. Rawlings by his shoulder as he has been all night. Hazelby just 8 possessions.
Great work, Hazelby.
Make that 9 as it goes inside 50. Farmer lurks at the back. Spilt to the front though, and King in best position for the Roos. Slips a tackle. Kicks back towards Rawlings. It was touched off the boot. Hazelby runs him down. Ferrito goes off the deck into open space. That'll be the advantage of McFarlane. He's got some time. Takes on Harvey. Handball to Hayden. Through Shammer. Back to Hayden through centre wing now for the Dockers. Inside 50 to kick over the head of Medhurst. And comfortably picked off by Archer.
23 points to margin. Again, the Kangaroos defence under enormous pressure. King sold the dummy to Jeff Farmer. Paid over and above for it. Goes to half forward. Walker will take the option of the boundary line, but he ended up staying in. All interesting hand pass. Hazelby set up. Walker. The Kangaroos regain possession inside 50. Harris running hard. McFarlane provides enough pressure to force the ball over the line. We'll have a throw in about 40 out from the Kangaroos goal. They trail by a tick under 4 goals. Red Harvey goes to the phone, not happy to be off the ground, and one being told why. Not too long before he comes back on. Here's Harris. Was he taken high? Thought so. Comes to Shannon Grant. Touched off the boot. Play on. Umpire's waving his arms as Thornton heard the call. Not sure. Decides to kick. Good vision by the young fella. He's had a tough night, or a big night. That was pretty good. Gets to McManus, to Parker, frees up the arms. They work it out in the end, the veterans. McManus now chips down again to Simmons. It's about a dozen times. Has to rove the ball off his bootstraps and then kick inside 50. Farmer, anything could happen. Jeffrey, that's the fence, mate. Come the other way. Comes back with a hand pass to Medhurst. Again, they're putting on a bit of a show. Directs traffic, chips in. Archer one way. The ball comes off the boot of Pavlich, feigning for a free, doesn't get it. And Archer released through Cockpit.
Outside 50. Here's King again in open space. It's been the story of the night for the Roos. They've looked best when they can stream off half-back and go direct to Rocker. Move it quickly so that he gets one out with Thornton. That's the plan again. Sinclair goes looking for Rocker. He's a long way from goal on this occasion. And it spills to the back of the contest. Rocker tries to work back to force some pressure. But it's Headland comfortably from half-back to the wing. Medhurst had some space and took the mark. Called to play on. Sinclair stepped around him. Nimble footwork from Medhurst. Goes to Simmons. Colbert went early. Got it to ground. Pavlich, Walker, look out. Duck the head. Simpson takes him down. Ball spills back to Pavlich. By hand to Sandilands. Ambitious to take Ferrito on. Could be a costly turnover. Michael Stevens breaks through the middle. One-on-one again. Rocker in front. Thornton at the back. Spills towards the line.
Oh,
and
no!
Thornton, as deliberate as you like, takes it out.
Oh, dear me.
Controlling umpire a long way from the contest there. In fact, no, the boundary umpire a long way from the contest.
Yes.
Controlling umpire pretty close to it. No question of what his intentions were there.
Well, if it looks like it's intentional, and it quacks like it's intentional.
Throw in. Sandilands and Rocker. Sandilands got the tap. Bell at ground level, wrapped up by Motlop. Umpire said arm slipped over the shoulder. Free kick to Peter Bell for his 20th touch. Dockers scatter. Going to create some space. It opens up for Woods straight up the middle. His own defensive 25 goes for a bounce. Towards the wing, Hadrill worked Brown under it. That's the body strength we were talking about with Robert Hadrill.
Just winning this contest very easily with Brown. Hazelby now has gone up forward.
Longmuir's target flies from the back. Umpire called play on. Simmons. Shammer pushed forward to the football, takes the mark, thought about going. Lost his footing, now he does go. He runs to 40, tries to work it back from right to left. Can't do so. Minor score to Byron Shammer, his first for the evening. And the margin now an even 4 goals. As we approach the 10-minute mark of the third term, and Justin Longmuir high on confidence.
Quick kick in, Archer. Kangaroos have not scored in this quarter. Sandlands, hard to get over the top of him. Simpson did his best. McFarlane, it's hardly put a foot wrong tonight. McManus, can you believe he was dropped a couple of weeks ago? Goes short to Headland, inside the centre square, loads up. Here comes Longmuir! There's a hole, it's a free kick against Hazelby for a hole.
Two guys hanging on to each other, battling for possession. This is where I get confused. Why? Because one gets penalised for being stronger than the other. I just don't know how umpires can actually pull that. Play on.
Shannon Grant down the line, Motlop. Plays on. 1-2 with Colbert. Lee Harding is providing a very long lead. He's been running for some time, and he's ended up coming from inside his 50 to on the centre wing. This is his first touch. Taken from the ground after, I think, there's been a lack of a shepherd on a goal attempt from Rocker down the line. Here's King. Rocker leads, goes short. He'll go take the longer option. Petrie's there. Diving effort. Again, McFarlane just been good. Very good. Wants this ball back. Shamel come outside to Thornton, who's run off Rocker. Cook to Thornton, and Rocker's walking 45 metres behind all this action. Thornton just ran on to supply. A little shepherd to Walker. Medhurst is sweeping left-handed hand pass to Cook. Here is Longmuir. Take two. No mark. Ball comes to the mat. It's a foot race between Headland and Pavlich. Headland gathers. Great stuff. Michael Stevens. Great stuff, Stevens. Then a fresh air handball. Then he's got a problem. He's got a big problem. No umpire. Goldsmith says, I will ball it up. Michael Stevens. Desperation.
Opportunity really came again from Thornton running forward there. Has to do that against Sav Rocker. Takes a chance. Thornton comes off, gives the run off, which he should have been doing against Sav all night. And now they make the change. Thornton goes to the bench.
Fremantle had 31 more possessions.
Graham Polak now goes to fullback.
Porter can't pick it up at his ankles. Pavlich over the top of it for Rito to make sure that ball doesn't spill out. Ball up, 12.5 minutes gone, third term. The Dockers have come out, netted the first 2 goals, 1 of this third quarter, after the Kangaroos trailed by 11 points. Half-time, Archer the third man up. Farmer to run onto it. Flipped it over the top to Shammer. 40 metres out, goes to the top of the square. Longmuir lurking again, got hands to it, couldn't quite hang on. Sinclair. Awkward bounce for Anthony Stevens. Kept his head, won the football. Puts it out in front of Brown. Hadrell right on his hammer. Throw in.
All these guys. 3 or 4 times now in Fremantle's forward line. Longmuir and Simmons both flying for the football and have spoiled it coming to ground. Does that move Hughes?
The blue rinse setter in. Sandlin's the tap. Shammer read it beautifully. Spun out of trouble. Handball release Woods. Here's a raking kick from 55 to the top of the square. Longmuir in position again. And again the Roos managed to spoil for Rito. They've got some runners out in space. Brown the only option for the Dockers. Gets back to force a contest. It was messy in the end. He legged Colbert. Umpire said play on. A break even, a good result there for the Fremantle Dockers. As Headland comes off for a spell. McManus back on for Fremantle.
Great kick to touch from Ferretto. The son of the Spud farmer. Picked it beautifully.
Polak now on to Severio Rocker. The change has been made. Interesting, given Sav hasn't actually kicked one in this term. Porter to Harvey. Bell didn't take possession, went looking for a free kick. Grant and Stevens link up to half forward. It's out in front of Harding. He's got Parker to beat. An old-fashioned one-on-one. They go at it. Well done, Lee Harding. Kept his feet. Can finish it off. He runs to 25. Went to the square, I think, in the end, really. Not sure if he was having a shot at all. His record on the run is pretty ordinary, but
that was just a shocking kick. That was awfully nice to try and make him feel a little bit better there, Jason, but that was just a shocker. Going too quick. Did a great work. Kept his feet. So important in football to stand up. Did it so well, but just an absolute shocker.
I haven't kicked many from that position myself at league level, so who am I to criticise?
He's rubbing the right hamstring, Lee Harding. Put up a little bit short. There's the kick from Dion Woods. As you mentioned, Jason, a lovely long kick. That's outside his defensive 50. Porter to Grant. McFarlane slipped at the crucial time. Cook worried out of it by Stevens. Comes to Harvey, looks inboard and backwards. Harvey to Michael Stevens. Short chipping kick, not good enough. Polak. Bell, they're under pressure now, the Dockers' defence. So far, retaining possession. Grover will have to concede, and does.
Nothing else he could do. Lee Harding grabbed his hamstring again when he went for that football. I'm sure we'll see him start sliding towards the bench where he'll put his backside on the pine. That'll be disappointing.
Dockers bring the ball in. Now Sandlin's the target again, the size, and up he goes. Doesn't take the mark. Ball spills. Porter did well. Over at Cook. McFarlane just runs when he gets it. Eyes up. Polak to Walker. Trouble here. Does well in the end. Polak gets past a distraught and distressed Anthony Stevens. Kicks the half forward. Colbert crashes into the back of his opponent. King overruns it. Simmons tackled without the footy by Makepeace. In the back, King on Brown. It comes to Medhurst. Up and under. Top of the goal square. Longmuir angling for front spot. Spoiled from what? Fans not happy. Makepeace goes to ground. Bell spins. Free kick. It's coming back. And 50 metres.
Gee, they're scrapping well down back, aren't they, the Roos? How many times tonight have they looked to be an inevitable goal coming to Fremantle?
But Jace, just a great battle from both sides, from both sides in there. Simmons has been fantastic, continues to present himself, tackles hard, jumps around. Farmer's doing it. At the moment, just a fantastic battle every time it goes inside the forward 50 for Fremantle. The Kangaroos are absolutely great in that area. Fremantle also battling away. Super game of football.
Peter Bell penalised for playing on after that free kick was given.
Colbert. Long kick inside 50. Motlop up. Good strong hands. Takes the mark. 25 metres out. Tight angle. There's no doubt the Roos have wrested momentum back in the last 5 or 6 minutes after the Dockers came out. Again, a similar trend to the first quarter. Dominated the first 10 minutes of the game, but didn't really put it on the scoreboard to full effect. And now the Roos a chance to work their way back into the contest.
They're always going to do that, the Kangaroos.
Motlop kicked one in the second term. Simmons comes off for a breather to be replaced by Headland. Well, Anthony Stevens comes off, replaced by Rawlings for the Kangaroos. The ball's with Motlop for his second goal. Keeps it low and guides it home. 16 points the margin. Daniel Motlop gets his second goal. The Roos get some reward for dominating the run of play the last 5 or 6 minutes. And they hang in the contest once again.
Always big on body language. When Fremantle have been kicking their goals, their teammates come up, wrap themselves up, talk to each other, get excited about it. Good goal here by Bollock, but they're just not that enthusiastic about that goal.
Daniel Motlop's second goal, the first for the Kangaroos since that rocker 15-minute mark of the second quarter. Rockers kept 5 on the run. Still in the contest, still plenty of time in this third quarter. Harvey. Well done, Bell. Saw a loose ball, dived in on it.
Changes now. Lee Colbert seems to be the spare man in defence for the Kangaroos, with Brown showing David King some attention.
Third man up, in fact it was 4 men up. Came to Walker, to Headland. He kicked the couple, Desi. He'll load up towards the goal square. Archer was held by the jumper, nothing doing. The ball comes to Brown. He's had an interesting night. Loops a hand pass back, Medhurst. Hit and hope.
Take possession.
Colbert, not a great kick. Hazelby, Grant. They just have numbers, the Kangaroos. They're going now. Interesting kick from Sinclair. Petrie back with the flight. Ooh, almost pulled it in. McFarlane again. Just backs himself, takes them on, gets ridden into the ground. Diving tackle by Motlop. They're both slow to get up. Now Grant has it on half forward for the Kangaroos. Here goes the lead of Rocker. Bang! Hit him on the chest on the lead in front of Polak. You can't stop that. And Rocker has a chance. Back-to-back goals for the Kangaroos. And yes, slow to get up. That was a very strong tackle. Motlop on Luke McFarlane. Spoiled a good night.
It's the art of tackle, though. And it's not just getting people to the ground. It's within the rules that if you can hurt your opponent, make sure you do it. It certainly has here. McFarlane not happy, who has just been in fantastic touch tonight.
3 in the first, 1 in the second from 50, Sav Rocker. That's the face.
McFarlane coming off, holding the left shoulder, really favouring it. See the arm dangling by his side. That would be a disaster for the Dockers. He's having
he's a tough boy, though. He's been carrying that many injuries over the last couple of years. I'll strap that up. I'm sure we'll see him again.
He's having a big night, too.
15 points the margin. Took over 21 minutes in the third term. This game again delicately poised. Brewers would love to pinch the next one and get themselves right back into it again. As McFarlane gets some treatment on his AC joint or his collarbone. Shepherding free kick in the ruck contest. These have been a bit of a lottery tonight. This one is going the way of the Dockers. Crowd calling for 50. Nothing doing as Thornton switches play and finds Simmons at right half back. Thornton calls for it back. Simmons obliges. Draws a man. Handball to Parker. Round the outer wing. Long kick towards Longmuir. Not a lot of space to work in. Watt's been with him all night. That's a fantastic mark. Gee, Justin Longmuir's hands have been good the last couple of weeks.
Just has been bubbling at all. One grab football.
Longmuir will go inside 50. Medhurst's lead cut off by Simpson. Courageous from the skipper. New contact was coming, but he stood tall nonetheless. We'll turn it around for the Kangaroos. Under 5 minutes remaining till three-quarter time. Next goal vital in this contest.
Fremantle did this very well. Kangaroos normally switch play. Peter Bell, Jeff Farmer coming out, just screening that and stopping the switch of play. It's on now.
Colbert to Rawlings. Harvey and Mercurial. Brilliant from Farmer. Shoulder to shoulder, one-on-one.
Been a lot better tonight, Jeff Farmer, in the defensive side of his games. Chase, tackle, again, great work.
Kick was ordinary, but Hadrill had time and space to work in. Goes inside 50. Colbert stands tall, takes the mark. Hits the ground running, hands off to Rawlings. Now Brown and Grant around the outer side. Motlop offers a lead long. Woods with him. Motlop up in front, couldn't take it. Woods did well. Sweated on him. One possession. High ball to 50. Brown will come from the side for the Roos. Couldn't quite bring it down. Archer at ground level. Hadrill up in front. Harding over the top. Couple of juggles and a mark. Harvey's by himself inside 50.
It's almost 50 metres.
He's being held up there by Parker. And now Grover picks up his man.
Good work by Parker. Just disguised it enough to hold up the Kangaroos.
Rocker calls for it to come in long, but Hadrill getting back to make sure it's a 2-on-1 if Rocker does get it high and long. As David King comes hobbling off, placed by Anthony Stevens as Harding goes wide, and there is Rocker out on the lead. He knew that Hadrill had dropped back and covered his space, so he got on his bike, Severio Rocker, and Marks, who kicked from just outside 50, but as we know, the distance won't be a problem for Sav.
Tough kick from that side, Dave. Always 9 out of 10 times will slide across the face of the goal.
The Roos rotating their midfield heavily. Simpson also coming off, as is Harvey. So some big names looking to have an extended three-quarter time break to really have a tilt at it in the final term. Harrison Wells back on for the Roos. Vital kick this from Severio Rocker from 55. He's booted 4. Plenty of distance. What a magnificent kick. Great goal. 5 goals to Rocker. And again the Roos hang in. The margin just 9 points. That's twice tonight. It looked like they were going to be blown out of the water, but they just hang tough.
You can't underestimate that size of that kick and how difficult it is from that side of the ground. That is a booming kick. He has done that on a break, Severio. Standing up, the key forward for the Kangaroos. Absolute shining light. Just keeping him into all night. He is on fire.
Looked on the football scrap heap late last year, and various times this year, but he's one of the form players in the Kangaroos, and they're hanging tough. Just 9 points down. The Dockers out by 23. Hazelby, quick give to Shammer. To centre half forward. Ferrito. Got one high, umpire pays advantage. Harris. Possession 9. Petrie's providing an option up forward. Hasn't been dominant, but he keeps working. Sinclair runs through the centre, gets a Shepherd. Brown is the call. That's the direction the kick takes. Has to stand and wait. Polak had bounced off the head, and it's a free kick.
It's might be going to Severio for a shove in that contest.
Let's go to Lockie Reid, boundary side. Lockie, you got some news on Luke McFarlane?
Yeah, certainly do, Tim. He doesn't look a very happy man at the moment. Luke McFarlane was taken off the ground after being tackled. There he is there. He's got the jacket on and the ice on his shoulder. The doctors haven't worked too much on him, so not sure what to make of that just yet. I'll find out more at three-quarter time.
Looks like a little bit of ligament damage when he went down. That's shocking for Fremantle. Shocking for Luke. He has been, if not leading, I guess, the race for the All-Australian position.
Savroka, a chance to kick his 6th. From outside 50. No problem with the distance. Accuracy not quite there. 5-3 to Sav. And again, Scott Thornton has got the job. Graham Polak had a small taste of it. So again, the coach just happy to persist with Scott Thornton. 8 points to margin. Still a wonderful game of football. Crowd in excess of 37,000.
And Hazelby comes back into the midfield again. Of course, his shadow with him. Rawlins has done the job, been there all night.
11 touches for Hazelby, averaging 26 a game this season. Parker hung on to it, waited for an option. The option was Woods. Chance for the Dockers. Over the top to McManus. They break through the middle of the ground. It's a wide open 50. Farmer got Makepeace out of the way, but then the ball found its way to the back of the contest. Sinclair, they've got runners, Grant and Harris up the outer wing. Gee, they've been good off half-back tonight, the Kangaroos. They really have stood tall and set it up. Grant inside 50, Harding on the lead, clears that contest and finds its way over the line in the pocket. The important thing for the Kangaroos as we close in on three-quarter time is they're back within striking distance. At the 10-minute mark of the third term, they were 24 points down, and it looked like their night was going to be over.
Don't you love the way that Shannon Grant does that? Goes along, not the quickest man, but just puts on the brakes, and they go straight past him. Clever play.
Still got the chance to pitch one more if they can get a clean stoppage here. Rocker up at the front, but Bell sensed the danger, got across and shut it down. Got it to Grover. It's a 2-on-1, still time for the Roos. Colbert marks. Stevens, Michael Stevens alone in the centre square, screaming for it. Colbert obliges, but the ball will come back. So why is a time off being blown? It has now. Interesting, he brought him around and the clock was still ticking.
I'm confused. Nothing unusual.
Struggling to get into the game in the third term. Stranded on 17 possessions. Colbert inside 50. Rocker the target off the hands of Petrie. Hadrell's kick smothered, it comes back to Sav. He went to the voice. Handball's a bit vigorous for Grant. Crashing through with Simmons. Paddles to the advantage of Shammer. Over the top to McManus, and the Dockers see off the challenge. McManus will launch it long. Across the wing, great mark going back again, Colbert. And the stage is set for a gripping final term here at Subiaco. Another entertaining third quarter of action. Great game this has been. The Dockers started the term 11 points in front. They got out to a 24-point lead at the 10-minute mark. Again, the Kangaroos largely through that man, Severio Rocker. Gritted their teeth, worked their way back into the contest. And at the final change, it's Fremantle leading by 8 points. Game in the balance at three-quarter time at Subiaco. The Roos fought back again from 24 points down midway through that term. At the final change, it's the Dockers leading by 8 points, 11-5-71. Kangaroos 9-9-63. A crucial half hour of football remaining in both these sides' seasons tonight. What a huge game this is in the context of the season. One other big game across the other side of the country tonight. It's in Sydney at the SCG. The Swans hosting Adelaide. Replay scheduled on various networks, so if you don't want to know the score, look away now. Dean Laidley pleading with his troops. He realises what a huge game this is. Chris Connolly doing the same with his. What do you reckon's coming out of Dean Laidley's mouth at the moment, Peter Wilson?
Played with Dean Laidley. I know what's coming out of his mouth, but I think the message would be keep doing what you're doing. Make sure, if Fremantle are going to win this game, make sure that they're the ones that have to go and win it. Just keep what you're doing, work hard, tackle hard, and you wear the boys down.
And if you're Chris Connolly?
Again, I think he's just talking game plan. Do what we've been doing all night. Just, you can see now he's just asking for a bit of passion. You don't see that a huge amount from Connolly because he's always just talking about sticking with the game plan. Now he's talking about pull your fingers out.
Certainly vigorous from both coaches at three-quarter time. Well, Arctic-like conditions down here on the boundary
it's
tonight.
almost snowing.
Let's head down to the shivering Lockie Reed.
Oh, I hope you're enjoying yourself in that heated commentary box. You're doing a terrific job, boys. Now, disappointing news for Luke McFarlane. His game is over. The doctor's not exactly sure of the injury. He's going to have tests later on tonight or maybe even tomorrow morning. It is his left shoulder. Not sure whether it's ligament damage or not, but it looks like from just the judging on the faces of the medical staff at the Fremantle Dockers that it is going to be a couple of weeks for Luke McFarlane. He is devastated. He's had a horrible run with injury during his 50-game career. Of course, he is celebrating his 50th milestone tonight. Let's hope he's not out of action for too long.
He's also celebrating the release of his second CD. His band released a CD during the week, Calling, Searching, Waiting, and a big success during the week. They launched at the Dockers shop.
At the Dockers shop, did they? Must go and get
Needs
a
to
copy.
sell 800 to break
Sure,
even.
that will be a big seller. It'll at least go into the Elvis Presley books.
I'll file that
It'll
stat
be
under you for useless.
Huge.
Final term at Subiaco. 8-point lead to the Dockers. Big half hour of football ahead for these two sides. Petrie tried to get it down to Anthony Stevens. To the outer wing, Simpson in best position, tried to link up with Rawlings but missed the body. Shammer gets crunched. It happens at least 2 or 3 times a game this year for Shammer. Rawlings, Grant, Harris, wrong foot's Pavlich, slips away from the Shammer tackle, Spears inside 50, Wells off his shins, spills out for a throw-in. The Fremantle Dockers have been getting away to flies in this term. The Kangaroos simply can't let that happen.
And that's right, you can see that movement there, but young Harris is very, very important as far as the Kangaroos are concerned. Needs to have a huge quarter to make sure that they're in this contest.
A couple of big names on the bench, King and Harvey for the Kangaroos. Hazelby tries to weave through traffic. Stevens has got a piece of him. Umpire called play on. Pavlich got boot to ball. Tumbles it to the wing. Awkward bounce for Colbert, but importantly kept it in front of himself. Took the headland tackle. Pavlich again throws it on the boot. Spirals it to half forward. It's a 2-on-1. Watt and Archer up against Medhurst. And Watt to the sanctuary of the boundary line. Throw in 60 metres out from the Fremantle goal. They lead by 8 points. The Dockers inside the 8 at the moment. 8 wins and 6 losses. The Roos lurking 1 game back can pinch their spot if they can come from behind tonight.
8 points to margin. Bell running hard. A quiet third term, but still involved. They dump him to the ground. Simmons had just one of those agonisingly tantalising nights. McManus. Ball up inside 50. King 21 possessions. There's the Dockers bench. Grover, Cook and Sandlands can all come back on, but as Lockie Reed reported, we've seen the last of Luke McFarlane. Shoulder injury. At least a couple of weeks. Low, flat bounce, Headland, Hadrill. Well done, Jones. Interesting disposal, falling to ground. Watt to Grant. Here's Rocker on the lead. Posed to Polak. Has he paid the mark? He has, and he didn't mark it. Don't worry about that. The umpire was caught on the wrong side.
So you've actually been paid for trying hard.
Great kick, Rocker. Oh, Motlop under pressure. Has he been paid? Free kick. Mark. He's paid the mark. He's paid that so too much. Interesting. Thornton has moved on to Motlop, and he's got a chance to kick his third goal.
You'd have to question both these.
Well, definitely the rock one. That definitely bounced.
Yes, well,
we agree.
Okay.
There's Motlop anyway. Big kick. The first goal of the last quarter from directly in front. It's a goal. He's got 3. Margin 2 points.
Well, benefit of the doubt will say that one was a mark, but the one previous to that, the man in orange, I think might have just made a little blue.
Had a pretty good night, though, the umpire.
He's good, I agree. I think he's been very good.
To make, and I agree, watched a couple of games so far during the course of the weekend, and the umpires have been a lot better across the board. It's amazing what happens when you give some people a bake.
This game worthy of a blockbuster finish. It's been a ripper all night.
Lee Colbert is now the one spare in defence and picking up plenty of touches for the Kangaroos.
2 points the margin. 4 minutes gone, final term. Dockers looking for a top 4 spot. The Roos looking to break their way into the 8. Grant to Harris. The midfield guns have really stood up tonight. Sinclair overran it. Brown's kick towards half forward. Medhurst on the half volley. Spills over the line. David King with 21 possessions for the Roos. Esperito watching on.
Thornton off.
Grant's had 19, Colbert 18. Makepeace, Simpson and Stevens. That's Anthony Stevens, all 17 for the Roos. Or Shammer, 24. Including 9 in that third term for the Dockers. Rawlings racks up another touch. Bouncing ball to the centre of the ground. Petrie tried to paddle it on. Hadrill beats him back to it. Handball looking for Hayden and found him at defensive 50. Over the top to Grover. Back to Hayden. Simpson and Wells closing. Kept his nerve, gave it to Hadrill. Handball missed the body of Pavlich. But Hayes will be there to tidy up for the Dockers. Momentarily, Harris takes the mark. Switches play out wide. Colbert.
Man, no one on this bloke.
Been influential all night. Goes to Harding. Had a metre on Woods. Woods kept his feet. Took the contact from Wells.
Oh.
Sitting over the top of it, will be holding the ball. The purple haze go crazy.
Oh, there's no good going at that. That was hard boiled. Is it not that long? You can't do that. You've just got to try and get the football out. Just nothing there from Woods.
Daniel Wells. Centre wing. Stevens leads short. Now Grant breaks to the pocket. Motlop as well. Beats them both. And eventually meanders over the line. Throw in. 40 metres out from the Kangaroo goal. They trail by 2 points. They trail by as much as 24 points. The 14-minute mark.
Oh, dear.
They call it a falcon in rugby league.
He's having a shocker tonight, poor old
Good play for
Leon.
Greece.
There's the throw in, taken out of the air, kick smothered down, defensive 50. Shammer, possession 25. Harris, the fend off, caught on the boundary line, kicks it back into the pocket. Half volley, it comes to Saville. Grover under the tackle, no try opportunity there. Sav just, the ball is on the edge of the fingertips.
Really coming into the game, young Harris. Used it football well, picks it up. Always alert. McManus now doing the job with him.
Secondary ball up here underneath Petrie. Dockers players I heard about earlier. Penalised. Dion Woods. Crowd trying to get involved. 37,000+. Rock up, punches it to the front. 3 or 4 overrun it. Shammer does well. Polak, Pavlich, a quiet third quarter. Kicks towards the boundary line. Will it have enough on it? It does.
Coming right down the ground, Matthew Pavlich, still playing forward. At best, a kick behind the play.
It's David King in the top 5 disposal getters. Again over the top. Longmuir Shammer leads all comers with 27, has time to straighten things up and then kick out to Pavlich. Numbers favour the Roos. Head down over it, Stevens. Simpson took a long time, inside 50. They're just kicking and hoping, and Longmuir pulls down a very good mark and goes by hand to the skipper.
Bell, 24th touch. Handball to Shammer, having a personal best game. He's up to 28. His previous best 25 against the Cats in round 5. To the wing, over the head of Bell. Here's Lee Brown. Handball to Petrie at half forward. Roos a chance to load up, goes to Grant. Couldn't quite, but at ground level gathers. Shannon Grant fakes, runs to 40, goes for home. Rocker inside the line, no behind. Behind to Shannon Grant. Roos edge closer, margin 1 point.
They're under siege, Fremantle.
McManus coming off, Thornton coming back on for the Dockers. The ball's with Hadrill.
You see this a lot in football, though. If Fremantle just go from one end to the other, Kangaroos just aren't taking the most of their opportunities.
Parker up the middle, only as far as Colbert. Hands off to Corey Jones. Goes wide, they switch from one flank to the other. Simpson and Brown, boundary line approaches. Simpson did well to keep it in. Lee Brown, inboard to Michael Stevens, who had a real influence in the third term. He's going to be called to come back and kick over his mark. Again they go wide. Lee Brown runs to 70 metres out from goal. Bombs it high, they'll contest at the top of the square. Rocker crunched the pack, gave away a free kick.
Poor play.
Good night,
You've got to be leading up as forwards. They just all step back. Everyone wants to take the big grab. You've got to lead up to your teammate.
It's like kick to kick at school, wasn't it? They all kept creeping back. Trouble for Parker. Harris put his strong body in over the ball and forced a ball up 30 metres out.
Making hard work of it, getting out at 50. They've hand passed and given it to Bell on 3 or 4 occasions, and he's not really clear enough to get a clean position himself.
Yeah, poor choices by both sides at the moment. Fremantle by hand, and I think by foot from the Kangaroos going into their forwards.
So the Roos have built the wall outside 50. Rocker gets it off to ground on his preferred left boot, tumbles it to the square. Hayden goes back, takes the relieving mark. You're right, Malone. They've had a lot of play, the Roos, for no result. They need to get one on the board. Longmuir's been good in the air all night. Maybe now the chance through Rawlings. Thought about the gift to Brown. Can go inside 50. Is that 15? It is. And the mark's taken by Grant. Not confident of the journey. He's got Wells deep in the pocket. Not a percentage option.
Into the back half. Is Fremantle now going away from this, allowing North Melbourne to have that spare man in defence. Thornton picking up Colbert.
Oh, Michael Stevens wasn't ready for it. Now to Jones. The Roos have gone to the well so many times for no result in the last 5 minutes. Justin Longmuir tumbles it out, but as I mentioned, the Kangaroos building the wall. This time it's Colbert.
They'll go back in again to centre half forward. He gets a block from his brother. Here's Michael Stevens, loads up close to the line. Motlop, front spot. Last fist there was Grover. Scores are all tied up. They were level the 19-minute mark of the second quarter. Freo have led for the last quarter and a half. They'll go short again. Grover. Again, can they clear their defensive 50s? Paid the mark to Polak. Headland's on his own in the middle. Polak saw it. Did he show enough? He did to Simpson, but Headland was good enough to mark. Possession 23 for Headland. A rare forward sought in this last quarter. Not a great kick. Well done, Lee Brown. Goes by hand. He could go down the line here. Stevens, Anthony. Spin it before he got it. Chips, not 15. Play on, didn't travel the distance. Didn't make it to Simpson in the end. Lee Brown, they're just queuing up for possessions here, the Kangaroos. Quick kick and hope. That's a poor effort. And Harding gives away a free kick. So some either very tired players or what could you call it, Peter Wilson? The skill level has deteriorated in this last quarter and what's been a wonderful night.
And this is what's going to happen, dominating the game as far as possession's concerned, the Kangaroos. But Fremantle here just standing up steady. That's where sometimes you see games break.
21 scoring shots to 16 and scores are tied. It's in the hands of Shane Parker. No one behind him. Still plenty of time. Shows a lot of it to Hayden Marks. Sold Michael Stevens into it. He then kicks to the lead. Pavlich has been quiet since a storming start. Pavlich, 60 out, chips. Farmer flew.
His man Makepeace judged it the better. Outside 50 to Simpson. Now the Roos on the counter punch. Stevens, it's been 8 inside 50s to 2 in the final term. But the Roos have only been able to come up with 1 goal, 2 to no score. Harding goes looking for Grant. A one-on-one with Walker. Grant soccers off the deck. The Dockers back there with numbers. It's Polak. Evades Petrie. Chips it over the top to Grover. Harding coming the other way. A one-on-one at ground level. Free kick. It's going Fremantle's way. It's going to Grover. Got in the back at ground level, said the umpire. And now the switch is on. Woods can go short up the middle to Bell. Bell's kick was partly touched off the boot. Farmer at the back. Work Makepeace under it. The Wiz has pulled it back too far. Line to score. 2 goals, 1 to Jeff Farmer.
There has been a roar in this stadium from the start. It's that time at night, that type of game, and it's just gone up another level.
Wonderful crowd approaching 37,100. Huge crowd for these two sides. 37,077. To be precise. Colbert has it deep in his own defence.
The player, because he ran on, made the options there for his teammate. If he puts this through, goal of the night.
Well, we've seen him kick some clutch goals already this year. And there is another one. A beauty from Daniel Wells, and the Roos are back in front. He soaked up the pressure against Carlton in round 3 to kick the winning goal. And again on the big stage here in front of his home state crowd.
I think it's now time to go to your A team as far as Fremantle's concerned for their midfield. They'll be sticking Pavlich in there. I'll be looking for Hazelby, getting him off the bench, putting them in the middle, and just running with the opportunity to get a lot of ball.
Caressed it through, didn't he?
Fast becoming an A-grade player is Daniel Wells. The Kangaroos led for 3.5 minutes of the second quarter. It's the only time that they've been in front. Now they've taken the lead with just 7 minutes to go in the contest. Simpson always trying hard. Pavlich in the middle. Cook does well, throws it on the boot, but again the Kangas are just vying for the football in numbers. Simpson to Rawlings. Had a job and done it on Hazelby. Here's Simpson again to King. Was one of the main players in the game to get the Kangas back in the game. Polak relieves with a great mark to Pavlich. Possession 22, Thornton. Just back at a right centre wing, goes short. It's in the hands of Parker. He'll kick down the line. Simmons working hard. Well done, Watt. Brown, he's the quick man in this quartet. Medhurst knocks it back. Ricochets off Brown. Medhurst again to Brown. Under pressure from 50. Cook screws it around. Peter Bell! Free kick. He gets a push.
And 50. And should be 50, surely.
Nope. Nothing doing for the 50. So Peter Bell, as Thornton comes off, Longmuir on, the skipper. Already kicked the goal in the third quarter. Margin 5 points.
Well, if you want the football in the hands of anyone to take a pressure kick, it'll be this man.
Fremantle are back in front of the boot of the skipper. In front by a point.
Spoke about mini finals, and it really has been played like that tonight. The crowd has been fantastic. The purple haze has just been a tremendous support to their side, and they are helping the Fremantle side get up. Crowds definitely have an influence in games of football, and the Kangaroos are going to have to dig deep.
former Kangaroo Premiership star, puts his original side back in front. Of course, he started with the Dockers, played 2 games back in their first season in '95, before playing 123 with the Kangaroos. Peter Bell puts the Dockers back in front. 6 minutes remaining in what's been a fantastic game of football. Bell again, first hands on the footy to half forward. A man who went the other way, Lee Brown from Freo to the Kangaroos, takes the mark. Stevens, long to the wing. Done well to use the space tonight, the Kangaroos, coming off half-back. This time it's Rawlings. A false start. It's got Harvey short down the line. Flat-footed now, Brent Harvey will have to go longer. To half-forward, Petrie and Motlop. Best chance for the Roos. Motlop at ground level, released Grant. Get the feeling the Roos aren't done yet. Here's Rocker. 40 metres out, directly in front. The Roos have got some supporters here tonight as well. Wonderful crowd. More than 37,000. And Severio Rocker has kicked 5. And a chance to put the Roos back in front with 5 minutes on the clock as Adam Simpson comes to the bench to be replaced by Daniel Harris.
The back half has been fantastic for the Kangaroos. Continue to rebound. David King gets back there. Brown been good tonight. This man, the raging bull, they're hanging off him when he runs forward. He's a monster.
Into time on final term. Rocker puts the boys from Arden Street back in front. 6 of the best for Severio Rocker. Medhurst off, Hazelby on. Roos by 5 points, 4.5 minutes remaining.
So important. Centre clearances from here on in. Just looking quickly, the Fremantle boys getting together, talking to Big Aaron Sandlands where it's going to be. The opposition and the Kangaroos talking straight to their ruckman and Paul, where do we want these football? So important at centre clearance.
Big game player throughout his career. And tonight he stepped up onto the stage as Dean Laidley. He knows what's at stake. Five points the margin, and Cooks, what's it forward to King. Took on the tackler and got away with it and threw it on the boot. Stand and wait. Petrie, ball comes to the front. Watt gives it back. Motlop, brilliant. Goes the fend off, succeeds to Petrie. He'll kick, he chipped at it. Should have had a shot. Polak tackled, under pressure. Ball ricochets. Parker, Dockers do well. Petrie should have had a shot from that range. Hayden did well, under pressure. Kangas have numbers, Pavlich has to be good. Archer spoils to the advantage of the Roos. Sinclair, good vision. Harris to King. He loads up King from 50 metres. He lets fly. Has it got enough? Does he need a shepherd? The Dockers get back. The Dockers get back in numbers, but it is a 6-point lead. And David King's been hobbling since midway through that third quarter. Didn't quite strike it. He can kick beyond 50 normally.
3.5 remaining. What a great game of footy. 37,000 fans. Fantastic for these two clubs to be able to pull that sort of crowd and then put on a show like this. Woods to Shammer.
Kangaroos really using tactics now to slow the game down. They're starting to move back and use the flood.
Now Bell. Trying to poke a hole in the zone. It was dangerous. He went to Rocker versus Cook. Was never percentage from 65. No one home. Rocker gives it a ride. It's bouncing. It's in the square. Motlop and Parker. One-on-one. It's still alive. Unbelievable. Parker grabs it. Motlop grabs him. And 37,000 fans hold their breath.
He did that well, Motlop. 3 against 1.
If they slap it through, they're more than a goal down. Wells just grabs it and goes! Two clutch goals from Daniel Wells, the young West Australian. And suddenly, the Roos lead by 12 points. 23.5 minutes gone, final term. How's the presence of mind? The Jackie Chan in midair.
Can you tell me, is there a car on the line? Because you can just get the keys and put them in your pocket, Daniel Wells, if you don't mind. Unbelievable to watch.
He has stepped up to the plate, Daniel Wells, in this last quarter. And Fremantle could go tumbling out of the 8. No longer invincible at Subiaco Oval. Teams are coming here and often walking away with the 4 premiership points, and the Kangaroos are on track. Strong tackle, Walker. Very good tackle. Not rewarded. Pavlich to Hayden. Wells trying to do it all. Hayden, a late inclusion. Goes short. Stretching. Diving. Archer. Still going forward. Medhurst to Bell from 70. Longmuir has to take a mark. He nudges him in the back. Nothing doing. Fickle bounce for Hazelby. Scoops it back. Jeffrey Farmer, they need you now. Misses.
Could be a big point, though. Suddenly they can win the game. They had to score 3 times. They've got one of them, so they're now within 2 goals. 11 points.
Got to be on your toes here as they bring it in. Fremantle need a turnaround. They need to turn this football over.
And read Dean Laidley's lips. 1:50 to go. He knows it's now time to run the clock down. Time just to retain possession.
Must man up here. All the Fremantle players must come down, stand on an opposition player, make sure when the football's there, you've got an opportunity to turn the football around.
King called to hurry up. He's chewed up a good 15 to 20 seconds in the process. A high ball. Expect the Roos to go towards the boundary at every opportunity. Big ball this one. Wells, hasn't he stood up on the big stage in the final term? Cruises away, just glides across centre wing and finds Motlop. 60 from home. It's wide open. He'll attack the goal square. Pollack, the only man to get back. It bounces through. The Roos are home at Subiaco. Motlop gets his 4th. And the Roos at the other end of the ground in the defensive 50 come together as a group. 6 or 8 of them hugging. What a gutsy performance again. The shinbone of spirit, it's a much-used cliche, but on nights like tonight, you've got to go with it. They trailed by 24 points midway through the 3rd term. They didn't give in, and they now lead by 17.
The class has risen. Motlop, Wells and Rocker. Just the 5 goal kickers for the Roos.
Got to look some of the work that's gone in the back half, though. Some of the rolls, like Rawling on Hazelby. Fantastic play. They just don't lie down this side.
Sandlands gives it to Cook. Hurries a kick forward. Brown. Hazelby taken off it. Brown hacked it off the ground to Ferrito. He had a nightmare start. Hadfield tackles him strongly into the ground. So a night for charity. Purple Haze night for the Starlight Foundation. That's why the Dockers are wearing these fully purple and white jumpers. The Kangaroos.
2 very big victories. Dean Laidley has done a wonderful job on getting the spirit when you're knocking over the Bombers and Fremantle at Subiaco.
Headland. So no charity from the Kangaroos to Pavlich. Strong tackle, Archer. What's the umpire going to do here? He'll ball it up, 51 out. Archer says, I think I deserve a free kick. Lee Colbert tends to agree. So the clock ticks down. The Kangaroos rank outsiders to win this game. Fremantle spot in the 8. Their finals chances have copped a blow at the hands of a fighting Kangaroos outfit. Siren sounds, the Roos go home victors, and Dean Laidley is pumped.
He knows exactly how significant that win was. The Kangaroos joined Fremantle in 8 wins and 7 losses. They looked dead and buried when they trailed by 4 goals midway through the 3rd term. Fought hard, never gave in, and came storming home in the final term. They booted 5 goals to 1 to run out 17-point winners in front of more than 37,000 fans at Subiaco. The Kangaroos 14-12-96 defeat Fremantle 12-7-79. 17 17 points, the final margin. They trailed for much of the night. Tim Gossage mentioned the Roos led for 2.5 minutes midway through the second term. Dean Laidley, very, very happy. He's charged out onto the ground. As you can imagine, it was a gutsy win. They hit the front again 13 minutes into the final term. As we head boundary side, one of the heroes of the night, Saverio Rocca, finished with 6 goals.
Sav, what a magnificent performance. You beat the Bombers last week. You've come to Subi and knocked off the Dockers. How do you feel?
Awesome. It's just absolutely fantastic to come over here and have a good win. It's pretty hard against Freo to play over here in Subi and get a win, so we're absolutely wrapped with that.
The message at the start of the game was play hard. You obviously did that. You just stuck in there, didn't you? You thought Fremantle were probably going to win the game, but you just hang around.
Yeah, we really made sure that they didn't get the first 2 goals of the quarter, which is what they've been doing throughout the game, and that's what set up their quarter. So if we could hold them, you know, through that middle part, we were pretty confident that we're going to come home towards the end.
Good on you, mate. Celebrate hard.
Thank you. And also, Daniel said to say g'day to Darwin. I don't know why, but thanks.
Saverio Rocca, one of the real good feel-good stories in footy over the last couple of seasons. He was in the wilderness for a couple of years. He was a star at Collingwood early days as they chair Lee Brown off for his 100th game. Lee Brown started his career at the Dockers. He was picked number 5 in the 99 draft, played 63 games for Fremantle. Headed to the Kangaroos at the start of 2003 in a trade which netted the Dockers Byron Shammer, and has really become a crucial part of this Kangaroo lineup in the last 2 seasons. What a gutsy win for the Roos.
I'd be cheering Daniel Wells off the ground.
Fantastic last quarter from the young West Australian.
He could drive off the ground with his new car.
You can sense the emotion there amongst the Kangaroos. They've had some memorable wins over the years. The Kangaroos celebrate. 17-point winners at Subiaco. Look at the emotion, the passion there. Dean Laidley is as pumped up as you'll ever see him.
I've played a fair bit of football with Dean Laidley. You see him go on, and he is coaching the same way he plays. He shows his passion, wears it on his sleeve, and I got to say, I love that.
We hear so
Unbelievable scenes.
hear so much about the Roos spirit. More than 37,000 fans packed Subiaco tonight. It was Purple Haze night for the Fremantle Dockers. Now we're treated to a super game of football. The Kangaroos coming from 4 goals down midway through the 3rd term to come storming home with 5 goals to 1 in the last term and run out 17-point winners. Jason Bennett alongside Peter Wilson. The singing of that Kangaroo song after the game, as passionate as you like. And speaking of passionate, let's head down to Dean Laidley in the winners' rooms. Dean, congratulations on a great win for your club. And while there's no doubting what an important, significant victory it was for your team in 2004.
Yeah, look, it was, you know, to get the 4 points tonight. And look, I don't know the other results tonight, but look, this is just a small stepping stone. You know, there's still 7 rounds to go, but I just thought our boys were very brave tonight and were just fantastic.
Dean, Pete Wilson, I've just got to congratulate you on how passionate you were about tonight. It's great to see a coach wear the passion on his sleeve, and your side was absolutely fantastic. I thought you coached very well.
Oh, look, thanks a lot, Willow. Look, yeah, I suppose that's the way you play footy, and I think sometimes if you just try and think about it with your head, and you know you've got to show a bit of passion to your players, and I think if you can, you know, put that through them, I think they really look to you. I know as a young player, and you know when I had Mick and Dennis, that you look towards them to really fire you up and throw a bit of passion and spirit into it. And look, I'm hoping I'm passing that on to our boys.
Every game's a tough game, Dean, but the next 3 weeks, Carlton, Hawthorn and Adelaide, you can really start to build some momentum on the back of this win.
Oh, look, I said to the boys 2 hours ago that this was the most important game we're ever going to play. And do you know what? Next weekend against Carlton is now the most important game. So, look, it's just they can really enjoy the win tonight and recover well and get back to Melbourne and it starts all over again.
Then we were a little surprised that David King was given so much room on the half-back flank to run off there. Didn't have a player for most of the night.
Well, look, it actually just worked out that way. We thought that may happen, and it was one of the scenarios that we went through. And they got to won a fair bit of the football early, and we just held our line, and to our credit, we readjusted, and our boys were terrific.
It was a night of holding your nerve, Dean. Congratulations. Twice you had to come from an early onslaught from the Dockers and then again midway through the third term. But this win takes you to 8-7 and past the Fremantle Dockers. Congratulations. A great night for the Kangaroos.
No worries. Thanks very much. I hope my family are watching up in Echuca. Thanks, guys.
Dean Laidley down in the winners' rooms. A thoroughly enjoyable night for the Kangaroos supporters, particularly that final term. They trailed by 12 points, and let's not forget, Fremantle had the first 11 inside 50s of the game. They completely dominated the first 10 minutes of this match, didn't really put it on the scoreboard, only got a couple of goals for their effort, but, gee, the Kangaroos had to grit their teeth and get themselves back into the contest. And then when the Kangaroos fell 4 goals behind midway through the third, you thought, well, gee, they've been gallant, but maybe they're now going to get overrun. They came back again.
No, unbelievable, Jason. We speak about how well Fremantle got at the start of the first, second and third quarters out of the shotgun. And I think Dean Laidley really understood that, and they couldn't allow that to happen in the fourth quarter. He smothered the side. He just did it very, very well. His side was gallant.
Very little in the stats over the course of 4 quarters. Both sides had their time with momentum. There was a lot of momentum swings in this game, and some of them were quite subtle. But after 4 quarters of footy, not much in the numbers at all. It's just the Kangaroos, I guess, really stood up in the last quarter when it mattered, and they did all the attacking. The Dockers went onto the back foot and just could not get that last goal or two that they probably needed early in the final term. As we take a look at the leading stat getters on the ground, Byron Shammer with a career-high 30 possessions. We mentioned his talent before the game, and he certainly showed it again tonight. Grant, King, Stevens, Simpson, all the usual suspects there for the Kangaroos, and Lee Colbert, fantastic marshalling the troops across half-back.
You look at that, a lot of players getting a lot of football. It was an exciting game to watch. Absolutely brilliant how they kept on moving forward, both sides. One of the best games I've seen all year.
Severio Rocker finished with 6 goals for the Kangaroos. Motlop finished with 4, 2 to Daniel Wells. While for the Dockers, 2 goals apiece to McManus, Headland, Pavlich, Bell and Farmer. So we take a look at the top 10 rankings on the ground. Statistical formula looking at the numbers and comes out with Peter Bell and certainly Severio Rocker, probably the most influential player on the ground, as I mentioned, 6 goals. It's a great story, isn't it? Severio Rocker in the twilight of his career, still a match winner.
He didn't really go into the wilderness, hadn't he, Big Sad, but he just fought back. Look, out of adversity, sometimes people can turn it around, and Sav's just done a fabulous job, and he just really played Subiaco to a T tonight.
It was a dream homecoming for Daniel Wells, the young West Australian who'd headed over to the Kangaroos. Could have been a Carlton player if not for the draft problems that the Blues had, losing those picks, and he really stood up in the last term. 2 brilliant goals, one from the boundary line under great pressure, and then this one, the mid-air shot for goal straight out of the ruck. He had the poise. There's the reaction from Dean Laidley, a young player at 18 years of age, to have the poise to take it on himself, to seize the moment out of the ruck and kick the goal.
And it's not the last time we'll see that from Daniel Wells. That is just absolute silk. That is when the cream coming to the top. We'll see that plenty of times in the next 10 years with Daniel Wells.
Fantastic game of football. We take a look at the run home for both sides. Fremantle head to Adelaide next week. They're back here in a fortnight to take on the Sydney Swans. The Kangaroos, well, they've got Carlton at Optus Oval, Hawthorn at the G and Adelaide at Amy Stadium. But in front of 37,077 fans here at Subiaco. Wonderful game of football. It was great from the word go. We hope you've enjoyed it right around Australia. On behalf of Tim Gossage, Peter Wilson and the entire Fox Footy crew here at Subiaco. Great night, particularly for the Kangaroos. An enjoyable game of football. The Roos coming from behind at 3/4 time to run out 17-point winners, rather. It's good night from Subiaco.